That was annoying. Well, fuck the raid, apparently. I make sure I didn't fucking have auto things open. Stop cursing my family. I don't even know where the fuck I was in this because I was watching it live. Why my bitrate at dog shit? Unstable? How dare you insult me like that? Can you hear me and stuff? Everything's good? Which is giving me the unstable warning. I feel like it's judging me. It may or may not be true. What the fuck happened? What is going on? I think we had like 2 seconds of rain. And it's been like super dry, so obviously that means that our infrastructure is going to go down, of course. Synced? Now it is? Oh god, what is happening? I need Twitch to tell me if I'm stable or not. Still saying unstable. Oh, now we're stable. We've finally been cured, I guess. That was annoying. The fuck was happening? I don't even know where we were in this. I'm like actually confused.
Brother.
No. And so, but like, okay, even if you don't want to use the word grooming, let's not use that word then. Let's talk about what she did do. Well, it's like
What? Okay,
Yeah.
I take it
That's a
back.
new revelation.
That's different.
Yeah.
I was gonna say she was outside of all of that because she had like a professional relationship with her, even as a kid.
Although
but,
you can be both.
Absolutely, yeah, but yeah.
We're almost done, and then we'll look. There's more details here. This is like bro. This is crazy. This has been like 10 minutes. That it's taken us like 3 hours.
Yeah, and by the way, I know we started late today, but you gotta go soon, right?
But I know I'm late, and I just feel bad, so I want to go to 5:30.
Okay, well, we got 17 minutes to wrap this shit up.
And how long have we been live?
2 hours 45.
So I want to do at least 3 hours.
We'll do 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then we'll all go down and eat.
And then we'll go down to Craig's.
Yeah, you come, Ethan. You don't even.
I'm going to Greg's.
I don't know about Craig. I fuck with Greg.
No.
Greg's cool too, but the food isn't as good.
No.
They don't have the gefilte fish for that. And the bagel. They have
That
the
100%
kipper
That's anti-Semitic.
What's that?
Sorry, bro. You're 100%.
That's the anti-Semitic, Jimmy. You're
No, I'm
inferior.
just telling you, they don't have what you want.
You're inferior.
Jeez.
By the way, Zach, the guy with the long hair on this show is... I didn't think that DNA, like 23andMe would say that anyone's 100% anything. Just, like, because they, I don't know, don't want to be liable for something. But I was stand corrected. He is 100% Ashkenazi Jew. Which, Ethan's like 98. And I figured that was just kind of like for like, you know, just deviations or whatever, like for error. But they just straight up were like, yo, you 100% Jew. It's like, that is nuts. Because my dad is 100% Japanese, but he also was like 98 point something Japanese. Which I thought was really, God damn, I hate restarting my computer. I feel like nothing works. I gotta get my startup programs, more streamlined. But anyway, I don't understand the conflict. Where did we land with your fucking dumbass tape, Gorps Inc.? You just are a hard stance on you think that people shouldn't have to pay child support, or what? And I am right and I am God? Okay, well, that definitely makes your argument seem very reasonable. I could just say the same thing. No, my power went out! How the fuck was I gonna read it? You can come on and talk about it after this if you want. It was long before that. You want me to just scroll up? Just copy paste it. If you know where it is, just copy paste it again. Or we can just talk, that's fine.
To my Judaism.
Zach is really very, very sensitive today.
He has a lot of attitude today.
Yeah, you have a lot of data.
Give me a little bit.
Data, dude?
Yeah, that's because you're doing the computer work. You got a lot of attitude, Zach. Get off your high horse. Huh? Get off your high horse, Zach. Jump.
Get off your motherboard.
Get off your motherboard, Zach.
Jojo,
I don't even hear a work with me soundbite today.
Right.
Yeah, that's Bush League shit.
He's just getting lazier and lazier.
All right, we actually let's focus in. Let's focus in.
Focus,
you know,
Olive.
And
they're hitting us with the hitting us with the
kinetic sand.
Yeah, the kinetic sand. We got to move on.
We got to move on.
We got to go.
You know.
Oh, no,
What's that? What's that?
Don't get me started.
What's that?
That's what they do when we're so boring that people need other shit to focus on.
Oh, well, get interesting. Uh-oh.
I've been known them hoes. I am rectangular. All right, stop, Zach, you fuck.
Zacher.
All right.
Problem is the internet was able to capitalize off of her cancellation.
That sounds so much like she just told her that. She's just a big fan of the song.
And they still are, and they still are continuing to. And it's,
Joe.
Ooh.
Oh,
Just
Joe.
because I'm making content doesn't mean it ain't true, girl.
Bingo.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you.
That's it. That's it.
True.
That's it. You're learning from Howie.
That's it. From the best.
You didn't even mention my hairline.
You mentioned that. I didn't mention your hairline.
We wouldn't want to offend Howie, would we?
Actually, it's a little scuffed up here. You got a little.
Did I mess up?
Oh, what is
The line
that?
is a little messed up.
Oh, Liv, don't you think about coming over right now. The last time was a hairy canary.
All right.
All right.
it's not okay because
Canary,
a lot
yeah.
of it is based off of lies, and it's
Well, it is
hurts me
a
to
scary.
see.
It's a scary place when you put yourself.
What's the lie? She's just kind of saying stuff. Ooh, not a good place for you to be in, girl. Does she just like toxic gossip train?
It was one thing, you know. I came to television, which is totally different, and I'm new to.
As we all know, toxic gossip train is a banger.
The internet, and I kind of found it through the kids, but it is
Love you, Howie.
really. It's like a minefield.
It is.
All right. So there's that. Now there's some other complementary information here that we're going to talk about. Here's an album of JoJo and Ballinger
Lime
through the
videos.
years to get an idea of the scope of the relationship. So this is this her when she was 12? How old is she?
More of
I
a
don't know
carpet
Very
cleaning
young.
if she
person.
was 12,
very
but
young.
she was very young in that photo.
I love.
Here, hold on. We follow a channel that does very satisfying. We'll just put it in the side. You don't have to pay attention to it. Oh, corgis. Wait. Subbies? Hold on. By the way, this fucking alien shit is so stupid. I feel like I want to ban the term, like, alien. Don't actually do it, but, like, ban anyone that thinks that alien shit's real. I just find it so fucking tedious and boring. Random side note. You know, I could really easily look up what I'm looking for if I just searched it, but I don't know why I'm so determined to show you all of the channels that I follow. There we go. Oh, but this is like the full one. Whatever. Gonna put that, gonna put that down here.
Jojo Siwa, goodbye.
That was a video on Colleen's channel where she gave JoJo a makeover.
Who's that guy?
Wait, who's this?
That's Chris Ballinger, her brother who has the family
I thought that was
channel.
Steven Crowder.
Wait a minute, is that the one that you said?
No,
he
no.
was the
That's a different.
pedophile?
That's why I asked because it looked
Different
like him,
brother.
but it's
the brother, but a different brother.
not the pedo guy. Yeah. Here they are, Dave and Buster's. Okay, having a good time, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, love
Playing
that place.
games.
They're doing silly videos
What is that?
together. Looks like a slime sit-in.
Slime.
I have a lot of those at my house these days.
I like that.
Theodore loves slime.
Beautiful, beautiful.
There you
What's it-
go. That's what your
beautiful,
slime
beautiful.
chicken.
Howie asked JoJo for her take. Oh, we watched that.
Mm-hmm.
Adam McIntyre is not happy about this, eh?
No.
He is the same age as JoJo, which is interesting because they had kind of parallel, somewhat, I wouldn't say parallel, but they were experiencing her influence at the same age and the same
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Adam said, JoJo Siwa, who Colleen Banger befriended when she was a minor. Minor doesn't even say it. 12.
12.
Like a hella
Yeah.
minor. Is
Like
saying,
just double digits.
yeah, right. Not even a teenager.
No.
Is saying Colleen
There
Ballinger
is a thumbnail of a video that Colleen Ballinger made with JoJo Siwa that had slime.
An irony that she, on one hand, acknowledged
carpet
but also
cleaning.
dismissed, which is, as you said, a bit of cognitive dissonance there going on.
Yeah.
Adam continues. Adam the McIntyre.
Mac the knife.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Colleen
Mackie the
slime.
knife.
So
Return of the Mac.
apparently, JoJo's been collabing recently. I don't know when these photos took place, but with James Charles. Now, this man is a predator.
I just want to
There's
finish
really
the
He's a
JoJo
problem.
Siwa
no other way.
I
to-
saw
story,
him at
and then we can
Boa
we can talk.
last year.
You did? What did
He
you say
wasn't
to
very
him?
nice. My son recognized him, and we asked for a picture, and he
You did?
wasn't very nice, and he just left when he was done.
You're lucky he didn't try to.
Yeah, and then Colby kind of told me about him, and I said, "Good, let's just not even go there."
That would have been a pretty weird photo, man.
The real
Of you and-
question
and
is, what
James.
is your opinion on the
That
carpet
would've-
cleaning?
That top
I think he's a
upvoted
lemon
post on the
drop,
subreddit of all
back.
time.
I love it.
Drop James Charles.
Don't. What did you say?
What?
I think he's a lemon drop. What
is-
a lemon drop is?
What's a lemon drop?
Cootie lemon. You know what a cootie lemon
Oh
is?
God, is it gonna
what?
be some?
Cootie lemon.
Is this some old time race or like
No,
bigotry
just
that you're
old-time
dropping?
homophobia?
No,
No.
gay.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, it's
No,
old time
lemon drop.
homophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's an old saying.
We're not supposed. That's like a.
Lemon drop?
I've never
Sounds
heard that
derogatory.
I've heard that before for some
No.
reason.
What
I-
is that?
I know
Well,
what
it's
he
a
meant, but it
drink.
sounds derogatory.
No,
Okay,
it's my father would call him lemon drop.
yeah,
I
it's-
think it's
it's
safe to say we shouldn't say it, right?
that's some old
That's
timey
exactly what-
homophobia.
Yeah.
What's
Is
the other?
men-
Yeah. What's the other one?
Lighten their loafers.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah, that's some old time homophobia. They're not all light in the loafers. Some of those bears would destroy you,
I
bro.
don't.
Yeah.
They would grind you into sand.
Maybe I've heard it because
make
Jimmy
that up?
Lee said it on the show before.
Is that just a
'Cause
Jimmy?
Did I say it before? I don't
oh,
even
yeah.
remember saying that.
Wait, after lemon drop, you said something else.
Lighten their loafers.
You get
Oh,
something
you
that's
said
not
something else.
satisfying. Look at that. Look at that ranking.
Cootie lemon.
What is that?
I think that's Yiddish.
Cootie lemon?
Cootie lemon.
I don't know what
My
that
dad-
means, but
these
I
are my
bet.
dad's sayings. Cootie lemon.
Is that really bad?
I have no idea.
Peter.
It's gotta be.
What
No,
language
they're
are you
just old.
speaking?
He said Yiddish.
As Zach would say, they're old time sayings.
No, old time homophobia. That good old
Yeah.
old time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
Little old timey homophobia.
What do they say in The
He's got the
Sopranos
Ron
when they
DeSantis
killed that
boots.
one guy that was gay? They call him.
Don't.
No, the
Don't.
Italians call him. What do they call him?
Yeah, no, we can't say that.
No, but it's a derogatory.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what word
I,
he said.
you talking about the Italian word?
But I don't think that the mobster's killing. I mean, that would be a homophobic remark, I would assume, if a mobster killed him and then used that derogatory.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a derogatory name for a gay guy. They killed one guy on the show Sopranos because he was gay, a heavyset guy.
Just
I think it
'cause he
was
was
Vito.
gay.
Just because he was
Is that
gay.
homophobic?
Spoiler, that's like in like
Well,
the
when you say
last
homophobic,
season.
What do you mean by that?
Like, well, you know, like racist against gay
It's not
people.
racist. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
in the mafia. They have rules. Like they go,
No
you
gay.
can't hit on another guy's wife. They didn't want him selling drugs. They, and they didn't want him gay. And if they didn't listen, they killed him. These were the old time mafia
So
rules.
is it homophobic to kill someone because they're gay?
Now I don't disagree with the mafia rules, but that's how they do. That's how they do shit. You don't kill someone because they're gay.
Okay, so it is homophobic to kill someone because they're gay.
No, you don't kill somebody.
Right. Because you keep saying no. Say yes.
What do you mean? Say
Is it homophobic to kill
Well-
someone because they're gay? Yes.
Yes.
That would be homophobic.
Okay.
Correct.
I just don't think it's right to do it, but
Right.
however that plays out.
You don't know what homophobic is?
No.
I'm gay. What the fuck?
It means you means basically essentially that you hate gay people.
I don't hate gay people.
Right.
I don't hate anybody. I just want to
Oh.
go out and have fun.
I find it
It's always the
fascinating
X's
that
when they
you
say,
that
"I
you
don't hate
Never encountered the word
anybody."
homophobia in your 67 years.
Love how you pulled that out of his ass.
Now I just jumped 10 years, Dan. I just jumped 10 years.
Old school
Hey, I just
fucking
jumped 10
homophobia.
I'm calling the cops.
The lemon, you know.
So that's why you kept saying yeah when I said old school homophobia.
hate everyone equally. Right.
Who's putting the tomatoes up there? Wait a minute. I saw tomatoes.
What is this, love? This
So
is
Love.
I knew he had said it before. Turns out 3
Love.
years ago he said it.
no shot.
Yeah.
You found the timestamp already?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Lovey.
I got my
I'd fuck you, Jimmy.
Well,
I wasn't a
that's
lemon
when I
drop. I
did
wasn't
pretty
like
good
my
with the
loafers.
chicks.
Lemon drop.
That's when I go
let's move
go
on.
back
Let's
to
move
that.
on.
Okay,
Let's move on.
Move on.
If you feel someone's gay, you don't need to point it out.
correct.
Although James is gay.
I agree.
Okay, it's not-
I concur. I concur.
But it's not a matter of agreeing. It's he is gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your medical opinion?
In your
I don't understand how you get your
professional
hair to do
opinion,
that.
yeah.
I mean, I think
Is
I
he
shouldn't
gay?
talk
Absolutely.
considering my hair just defaultly does anime shit.
Indisputably.
All right, tone it. Don't push. Don't push. Tone it down.
Tone it down, Zach.
He is very outwardly
we
gay.
love our LGBTQ.
James Charles, if that's what we're talking
audience.
about.
They're the greatest. That's good.
I don't even
so
own
when
a
was this picture
blowdryer.
with James Charles taken?
That was a video they did in 2020.
Oh, that's
But
a
they
long
did.
time ago.
They collabed very recently.
They collabed 2 months ago, and it
2
was
months ago.
multiple times.
I
There
will
was
never blow
YouTube
dry my
videos,
hair.
there was TikToks.
Yeah.
Dude,
too
that's-
Asian for a
then-
blow dryer. It
then
doesn't
She
work.
really gotta. She gotta stop.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. I have a whole thing with James Charles. People let him on, are just letting him off.
You
the
like
hook.
him?
He's a predator.
Right.
No, he's a
right.
disgusting
He's
freak.
bad news. Yeah, that's what my.
And people just
kids
let him off
said.
the hook. More and more people
I
are
wanna
just
be
hanging
honest,
out
I
with
don't think
James
this
Charles like
carpet
it's
is
all
worth
good.
it.
Like
Jeez.
it's giving Roman Polanski. vibes,
Making Roman
frankly.
Polanski look normal.
It kind of looks like
Oh,
shit, if
wow.
I'm being honest.
That was pretty bad what he did.
Back then, that was really bad what he did.
Even now.
Is he alive? Or did he?
Yeah,
die?
he's
question.
like
He is
he's
still
in
alive.
he's in France.
Did he have sex with like a 12-year-old or something?
Yeah.
Isn't
I
he
think it
like
was
in
13.
Europe?
Yeah,
Didn't he run
I
away
think
to
she
Europe
was-
and never
He's
come
in
back?
he's in France.
13
right?
or
Yeah, to
14.
France, and then they gave him an award.
What they give him an award for?
He got like best director, and then
Oh, for
everyone was like,
movie.
give him a standing O.
For like it was
Jeez.
called a Ghost writer or something.
You know what's
like
funny? Nobody even remembers that shit. They had to give him that's just a child R wordist.
Yeah.
12-year-old. Hmm. So in an entertainment industry where they always go, how did this happen?
What,
How
like
did we
right
not see
now?
this happen? Shut up, pigs.
I
Freaks.
doubt they probably are open at the
Jojo.
moment.
I'm not calling you a pig or a freak, but I am saying this is how this
This
stuff
carpet.
happens. James Charles.
Don't call him a fat pig.
I
You
didn't.
can't.
I didn't. I just want to make that clear. Also,
Wait, Gropsy,
Adam
are you
points
trying to
out
make
something
a
interesting here.
carpet
Another
match the drapes joke? I just realized.
McIntyre moment. JoJo being in the GCs group chats alongside Colleen is the cherry on top. This is the JoJo Siwa update the group photo. Someone told me to change the pic. I don't know the context, but apparently
That proves that she was in the group chat and she changed the group photo, like the profile photo.
Man.
Ooh.
How
This is
many
getting-
how many group chats did this girl run?
Jeez.
She had like dozens
Unbelievable.
of kids
Yeah.
chats, man.
Well,
That we're
anything
telling her she's
Ethan
amazing.
happened to her or no?
I'm implying that the
for all
pussy
this?
wasn't
Yeah.
worth
Well,
it, I guess.
her
Well,
career
not
is
really.
pretty much.
The career shot, but like,
It's-
will she go to jail or anything bad happen or no?
I doubt it.
Just kind of the career goes south.
James Charles should go to prison, in my opinion. But
Yeah, what
Collins-
happens to somebody like him? Nothing.
Not well. The victims have to press charges, and I don't know if they. I don't know if there's an investigation or what. I mean, this stuff takes time.
Yeah.
I don't know. So when did JoJo collab with Shane? Because that's also interesting. 3 months
That's
ago.
what I'm saying.
No
Your
way,
statement still
man.
made sense.
So she's like collected the Justice League of
In that
YouTube
context.
predators.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Samuel Jackson's character, how he brings them all together. That's her.
Yeah. King of bad judgment. with
Do
people.
you see her face? I see her car.
Dude, why are you doing this? He didn't even
is
put
this
you on the
guy?
main channel, girl. You got that Shane 2 treatment. No respect, even.
Who's that?
Shane, he's another guy that like got canceled in a. I won't say
Similar
similar
way?
to Colleen, but
His was for doing blackface and for saying really inappropriate
Was she a-
sexual things to
kids.
one of the
Minors.
one
Two
of the
kids?
kids, right?
Oh,
Wasn't it
yeah.
like
Ron,
Willow's
get
father?
It was
that.
about
Get it,
Willow
Ron.
Smith,
Yeah.
and then he also just like.
Tell me you don't
would
like the
say
carpet
weird
cleaning.
shit
Look at
about
Really
this.
kids in
fucked
his
up,
content.
nasty,
And did
weird shit
blackface.
he's done. Yeah, not good stuff. He also got brutally canceled, I would say.
YouTube finds some beautiful people.
Somewhere.
My comedy's starting to look more normal after dealing with these people.
Yeah.
That's weird to say it, but
Well,
almost.
some of the stuff you were just saying would probably get other people canceled. I'll just be honest.
Or even you in the future.
Even me, you think? This
No, Jimmy.
Oh, when you
What
make
did
it
you say?
big.
You're laying the seeds right now, my friend.
Keep a lookout for it, JoJo.
Yeah, the lemon drop and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would stay away from.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're not candy. It almost like demeans them.
Yeah.
If I was like, hey, look at the latke over here.
Look at the what?
The latke.
What's the latke?
Latke?
Latkes, you mean?
Yeah,
like
latke.
potato latkes?
Yeah. Get a load of this latke.
A
over here.
lachus?
It's latkes.
It's a latke.
Or whatever it is. That's what you are.
How about if I'm
like to
just the
fry you up with some
old-fashioned
applesauce.
chicken noodle soup?
Hey, look
By
at
the way,
the
there are-
foreskin over here. Huh?
Yeah, look at the
Jimmy's
foreskin on this
Jewish.
piece of chicken,
Ethan's
huh?
Jewish. That's the joke. They're doing inter-Jew jokes.
He has this many people over there? God damn. Shane is such a weird dude, man.
Where's this
Oh,
guy?
she
at?
Dude, I
loves
used to
him.
be
He's
such a
another-
huge fucking fan of Shane Dawson. Like, when I was like, I guess he would have been my Colleen, but I didn't have. I never actually talked to him. And the age gap probably wasn't as significant. He was probably like, I don't know, like 20. But I was like such a huge fan when I was like 13. I am also very disappointed in myself because of that. At least we can share that aspect. There was just like, I feel like it just, there wasn't a lot of stuff to watch on YouTube. And it just kind of was like a big thing. And then he had his, do you remember his, this is going to be a deep cut. Gorb saying, did you remember his friend with the cupcakes? Like, her whole thing was that, and I'm not talking about, what's his name? Yeah, he did a lot of collabs with somebody who was like, she had like dark hair. She had a very like gummy a smile. I'm not trying to say that to demean her. I'm just saying I'm trying to describe this person. And she was like really into like her whole like thing was like cupcakes. But they would do a lot of, maybe I'm like older than you. I mean, I knew Shane before he was like out and about gay. Hold on. I know how I can find her. Shane Dawson Twilight period. Oof. Yeah, let's play this one.
I love you too, little girl. Oh shit.
It was this girl. Dude, these videos were super weird. Alright. Get ready to have the most cringe. I watched these videos and was such a huge fan, and I'm going to probably explode. Get ready.
I love you, Hannah! I love you too, little girl. Oh shit. You're not real? No, I am. It's just, I'm Myler's, and then that's Hannah's, but I wear a wig because I want to be a real girl. I'm gonna tell everybody! No! And that's how the Hannah Montana movie should have ended.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was also like a huge thing. The golf noise was like all the rage back then.
The movie I would have changed the ending to would probably be
And this song.
Hi, what the fuck?
It's not what it looks like.
You're fucking my friend?
I guess it is what it looks like.
Okay, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm gonna go kill my baby.
No!
I did it. And an ending I would
I hate myself.
love to change. Twilight, the new moon. Bella, I'm leaving you. All I want to do is suck your blood, but I can't.
Is there anything we can do?
No. I need your blood, Bella, but I don't want to kill you to get it. Goodbye.
Wait a minute! I just figured it out!
What?
I'm on my period!
What's a period?
Oh my god! I can't believe I never thought of this!
It's so good!
I know! I have so much more!
Oh, baby! Alright, here's your job. Period cup? Let's make that shit a trendy topic on Twitter, just to freak people out. Alright, so, leave me a comment or a video response telling me the worst movie ever.
Oh my god. I think there is a curse upon my soul that I can't get away from. Like, I thought that shit was funny as fuck. Like, you know when you see, like, thank you for adding that and spelling it wrong. You know when you see, like, cringe TikTok things that, like, Zoomers like, or I guess even, like, Gen... whatever the younger ones are? We've all been there. Maybe have a little sympathy, because this is the shit that I would watch. My excuse... Okay, I have a little bit of more of an excuse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
There wasn't a lot of shit to watch on YouTube, okay? It was this or, like... the fucking Angry Frog, okay? Zoomers nowadays have no excuse. There is a lot of actually good content. They don't have to be watching this
I
shit.
have no self-esteem.
I mean, it's over, but that's the type of shit that used to do back, you know, what was that, 15 years ago? 15 years ago, I guess I must have been older than that, because I'm 31. I was, the fucking way I was watching them.
FBI, open up!
16? There's no way. I definitely was not watching Shane Dawson outside of, like, being, like, 14. Or doing my math
My
wrong.
superpower is being honest. I'll eat your ass.
Or did I say it was 16? I don't know, whatever. I was like,
Interrupt the vlog. Or maybe they.
Do you know the guy?
Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of it was also because, like, Jenna Marbles, which, by the way, Jenna Marbles, her content still fucking holds up. Like, her old, like, content from back then.
All aboard!
What was like her first video? Hot girls or whatever. Something about yeah.
Hello there, friends, and welcome to my
I assume. Okay, this is a re-upload, so this video came out like probably like 15 years ago.
tutorial.
Oh,
on
shut
how
up.
to trick people into thinking you're really good looking. If you were born really
He does have conservative lips, so I am a little concerned about it.
ugly like me, have no fear. There's steps you can take to be good looking.
She reminds me of like Dee from Always Sunny.
Kind of. I've already taken some steps before we even start. I bleached the absolute shit out of my hair, and I tanned my skin because if I didn't, I would look like an albino. If you don't want to tan your skin, you can use fake self-tanner. That way you can ruin all of your clothes, and when it washes off, you can look like you have vitiligo. If you're blind as a fucking bat, like me, make sure you get contact lenses. Glasses are for douchebags. I also have a retainer. Now that you've got all that down, it's time to start getting ready. Step 1, take a shower, because you're probably dirty. All done. Probably took a while because you're one ugly mother. Now it's time to do your makeup. Literally take a...
No, I don't actually think this is that cringe. It's still pretty, like, well, like, edited. Like, the things that she's saying are funny in, like, a kind of Ethan type of way. But yeah, the point is it's supposed to be cringe. It's like I like her deadpan. Like, honestly, I get so much of my humor growing up from, like, her doing just, like, deadpan shit.
Bunch of makeup on your face. Neato. Now it's time to do your eye makeup. I like to use colors like black because it says, I'm a whore. The goal is to make...
Come on! Tell me that's not funny. I'll sit here and wait. Like the black eyeshadow being tells me I'm a whore. With her deadpan and her weird accent, like certain words that I say, I still kind of adopt her like cadence. She's from like Boston. Oh, shut up.
Make yourself look nothing like yourself. Perfect. If you're thinking about going with a more natural look, let's be serious. You're way too ugly to pull that off. Now it's time to put on some fake whore lashes and draw on some cartoon eyebrows. Super duper. Don't forget your hoochie lipstick. I like this one because it makes me look like a streetwalker. Now it's time to abuse your hair. That was not good for it. Now remember, since you...
Okay, maybe it's because you don't get like fucking girl shit, like especially in the time period. Accurate.
If you were born ugly, you're probably pretty weird. That means, God forbid you ever go in public, you're probably gonna embarrass yourself. Don't do any of this. Or this. Especially not this. And only a little bit of this. The next step is go out and get yourself a job that's super degrading. I picked dancing in my underwear. Before I go to work, I like to pump myself up by crying over my master's degree. Now remember, there's no...
By the way, that is true. She was actually a go-go dancer. To pay off her student loans. So, fun fact.
No cure for ugly. But you can make yourself into a human optical illusion. I like to leave all of my old Facebook pictures on Facebook so that everyone can know that I really am an ugly motherfucker. So there you have it. Tricking people into thinking that you're good looking when you're really just a fucking weirdo. I realize that this video is not helpful to men. You're just gonna have to find a girl that thinks you're funny.
You're telling me that doesn't... That still holds up. I think that's still pretty funny. Y'all really gonna tell me that it doesn't? That Shane shit makes me want to kill myself that I watched that. I don't feel embarrassed that I was a Jenna Marbles fan. Oh, shut up. You're just being such a hater.
And yeah.
You realize the more that you're being a hater, the longer it's gonna take me to get through this video.
He's been on the show a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Before he was like the creator of the moment for a long time. He was
really
pushing mad views.
Yeah.
It was like the first big comeback,
like,
wasn't it? Like when he started doing the
less
documentaries.
than 10 minutes.
Because before that, he was kind of not as popping for a while.
Comeback in the sense that he wasn't popular and became popular.
Yeah, I mean, he was popular for a while then, yeah.
I mean, he was getting like 1 million per video on his.
Is he flat now? This guy pretty flat.
That was you guys doing that.
He's still pretty I mean, this got 1 million views 3 months ago, but he's a lot less popular than he was.
He's not Jimmy Lee popping. He's not 40,000 a day popping.
Whoa.
I mean, so even Selena Gomez is barely that.
Yeah.
She's a big deal. She has lupus, by the way.
Selena Gomez?
Yeah.
Jeez. How old is she? She's a kid.
I don't know how old
31.
30?
Oh, she's 31.
Wow.
But that's it. That's the show. What else did we have in the title?
The Nelk Boys, but we didn't get to it. We'll just have to talk about it on Friday.
Yeah, the Nelk Boys apparently are getting sued, by the way, because of a prank they did, which is nuts. We can watch that afterwards.
There's
we
still
gotta
there's like no follow-up information on it yet anyways. So maybe we'll know more by Friday.
So then the title becomes JoJo Siwa defends Colleen Ballinger, and Jimmy Lee cancels himself with searing homophobia.
Oh, stop.
I'll leave that part
I'm
up.
kidding. I'm kidding. But we could put Jimmy Lee in the title. I don't know.
Featuring Jimmy Lee?
Featuring Jimmy Lee, co-host.
Featuring Dr. James Wiener.
Maybe that's confusing.
By the way, this guy is a dentist with an insanely successful practice. Which is why he's such a fucking character. Andrew Callahan is making him the main subject of his comeback. If you don't remember who Andrew Callahan is, you would know him from, I assume, Channel 5 and or All Gas No Brakes. They are going to do a documentary on him. I don't know when it's supposed to come out. They mentioned something about it on this one, but it seems like that's going to be his comeback. If you don't remember, Andrew Callahan did have a conflict because somebody he took advantage of somebody. I'm trying to remember the story, sorry. Basically, he was just getting this girl drunk and then like fucking her like and trying to like pressure her into a lot of stuff, like very obvious abusive behaviors type of things. So I'm interested to see the content, but not stoked that he's coming back, you know what I mean? Pushing on her to wear her down. Yeah, it's not like the worst type of sexual assault, but it's like, what, are we gonna rate things now? No, that's not how that shit works. It was horrible. It was being a sex pest. Yes, a sex pest. That's a good way to describe it. It's something that I think you could come back from. He did take responsibility for it. He didn't deny it. He didn't try and discredit the victim. I think we'll see, his behavior going forward, but like, it wasn't the worst thing you could ever do. It was horrible, but we'll see, It's sex pest behavior. It's something that I could see somebody not realizing that they're doing in the moment, but still doesn't forgive what they did, So we'll see how that's gonna all play out. I'm interested in seeing people's takes on it. Like, I've like sexually harassed a bartender before, and I was like fucking blasted because I just hit 21 and I was super fucking drunk. I'm like, I didn't like do anything with that, but like I understand, like, I was definitely in the wrong and I feel horrible about it, and it was like inappropriate, and I will never ever do that again, and I of course haven't ever done that again, but it's like so cringe to even think about. Will they out of it soon? Anyways, they seem to be winding down, so why don't we bring up, of course, how that carpet's getting cleaned. And also have our... Please don't open on that monitor. Please don't open on that monitor. Please don't open on... Oh, thank God. And it shouldn't be different. It should still be, like, condemned in the same way. I still feel like it's a really bad thing that I don't like. Oh, chicken, are y'all talking? I don't want to pull one of you up if you're having a little chatty chat. Again, that carpet, probably not worth the 30 minutes that it took to get there. Let's see if we can find one. Like, oh shit, there's a slug in this one? Who's got, like, recover my rug money? Maybe they just, Oh, you're just saying hi, okay. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound perfect. Just
Okay.
because it's first time on the stream, name and pronouns?
Day. I was here the other day. We were arguing the drag queen shit.
I'm joking. Stop.
Okay.
I just want you
Making
to
sure that I don't
reiterate it.
slap you.
Okay, sorry.
He, him.
Okay. And you,
Okay.
I am bad at pronouncing your name. Again, that's really what I wanted you to say.
Gorps. Just say gorps.
I was, okay.
You always say it weird. You always say like
I know,
drops or
I always
sing-
say it weird. That's what I'm saying. All right, go ahead. So,
Okay, I had someone call me Gorge once, so you're ahead of that person.
that is weird.
Yeah.
That sounds like oddly sexual. Moving on.
So, abortion.
Yes. Your position.
So, my position is that, first of all, women should be able to get abortions up until viability. That's my, or like kill the baby up until viability. How about that? So they can get an abortion up until viability. Up until that point, the man can also say, I'm not doing this. I'm out. After that point, you fucked. After that point, it's your baby. But before that point, when the woman has the equal opportunity to say, I'm out, the man should be able to say, I'm out.
So your position is that you think, basically, we'll just use, man, woman, just to be simple here. That the man should be able to dictate when they get an abortion?
No. The man doesn't get to say, like, woman, you're having an abortion. The man gets to say, I'm out. My name is not going to be on the birth certificate. I do not have any sort of responsibility for this child. Not that he says, oh, woman, you have to go get an abortion. That's not. No.
Okay.
That's still the woman's choice.
So again, I guess like the hypothetical situation that I believe is kind of the crux of why that generally exists is, again, what if, you've committed to this person, you want to have a child with this person, you've planned your life around it, financially planned around it, et cetera, together, and all of a sudden, I don't imagine this happens often, but just stay with me, they then either they just want to leave.
Should people not be able to get divorced also? Like, what?
No, I don't think you're comparing divorce to having a child.
Well, what I'm saying is that both of these things, you plan your life around, like you're committed to this thing at one point in time.
Sure.
Like none of them are like spur of the moment.
Sure.
Normally they aren't spur of the moment.
Right. I mean, exactly. That's my That's the exact point, right? Like that you have planned together, and then I mean, in this particular situation, we're obviously talking about getting blindsided, right?
I mean, it depends. It can also be a thing that's. I mean, I guess
No,
yeah.
but
in
in
your
this
specific one,
particular
it's blindsided.
situation, we're talking about getting
Yeah.
blindsided.
Yeah, but like let's add to this scenario. Let's say that these two.
Well, no.
the
Can you
man and the woman-
engage with mine just to know your position, and then we can move on to
It's
the
a
one that you want
surprise,
to
but I
do?
don't really. It's a surprise, but I don't really care. What I'm adding is to add like
You don't.
possibility for context, right? Like the reason that he would up and leave would probably be that something happened if they were planning on this.
Yeah,
So let's
he's
say
been cheating
that
on her. Sure.
he's been cheating on her, so it's not even that much of a surprise. He hasn't been planning this. He hasn't been planning
But she
on
doesn't know.
staying with the kid. Yeah, and she could be cheating, and he doesn't know. Like it doesn't matter. Like
How does it not matter?
if because she can up and get an abortion if she doesn't want to raise that child alone.
Do you think getting an abortion is like an easy thing?
No. I also think that relinquishing your parental rights and your ability to be a parent isn't an easy thing.
Do you think those are comparable?
Both are saying this baby ain't gonna be mine, and
But you do think they're comparable?
I think that they're different, but the like the emotional attachments.
What about the physical?
Physical, oh well, this is like saying, oh, it's bad that men can get prostate cancer and women can't, so
It's not like that.
we need to make an issue out of it.
I'm saying, I'm
Yeah,
asking
it is.
you a
It's a
question.
thing. It's a thing that isn't necessarily that big of an issue because it's not.
It's not
like,
it's not a
something
big
that you
issue. The
could
physical
compare.
taxing of what happens to your body, getting an abortion.
It's less taxing than having giving birth.
I mean,
So in this situation,
whether
yeah, it
or
doesn't
not
matter.
that is the case is irrelevant. Like, I'm asking you, do you think that it's the same physical taxing of being a guy, I guess, and not paying child support as it is to carry pregnancy for however long, and then going to have to get an abortion?
Well, I'm saying that the abortion either way is less taxing. So why
Less
is that
taxing than what?
relevant? Less taxing than giving birth.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, it is because of the.
No,
two
you're
options.
trying to compare it to like men. Like, what are you talking about? That's completely irrelevant. You're saying
The level of taxing that it is.
You're saying the physical taxation is analogous to like from like again like the female body or whatever is analogous to men?
No, but I'm saying that both should have the choice in this, right? Because just saying, oh, it's more
No,
taxing
you
for
were
women, so
very
men don't get
specific
a
about
choice.
talking about physically taxing. So I really want you to explain your position on that.
No, I said I was talking about responsibility. The entire time I was talking about responsibility. The physical taxing, I was relating it to pregnancy versus abortion. Like or giving birth versus aborting.
Right. So you don't think that abortion is physically taxing?
I never said that.
Okay, so you understand that it is physically taxing then, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you accept that. Okay, and then your other position relating to that is
That doesn't matter.
Why does that not
I think
matter?
that people should have equal. I think everyone should have a choice.
It doesn't matter that
It doesn't matter if it's more
somebody's
taxing. I think everyone deserves to have a choice.
Okay, but you understand if somebody chooses to leave, then you put the other person in your logic. You're putting the other position. You think that somebody should like basically just get an abortion, right?
If they don't want to raise the baby as a single
Right.
parent, then yeah.
So you again, as we were saying, you think that the physical taxing aspect of getting an abortion is just kind of like a whatevs, or what?
Yeah. It is irrelevant to the point.
What do you mean it's irrelevant to the point?
The point is that everyone gets a choice.
Okay, so the fact
Physical
that
taxing
one
is not actually
choice
relevant to that.
causes more harm to the other person is you don't care about that.
Doesn't necessarily cause more harm. The person still has the choice whether to
Physical
get an abortion
physical
or...
harm. I think that it's pretty okay. So
Well, the
you
person
think
still...
hold on, no.
The person still is in the same situation they were before. It doesn't change the person's situation in terms of them being pregnant. And they can still have the baby if they want to have the baby, or they can have an abortion if they want to have the abortion.
You know abortions aren't free too, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So you think that people should not be on the hook at all for? Let's step back a little bit. Do you think that people should be on the hook for paying for an abortion?
I can concede that, sure.
Like the absentee, we'll say father again, should be responsible for paying for it.
Yeah, so long as the
They're like
the mother can
$500, by
prove-
the way. So
yeah, so long as the mother can prove that they were planning on being together and that it wasn't like a
how do you prove that?
surprise sort of situation. You show texts, you show financial
who?
planning, things like that. What?
Who are you showing this to?
A court. That's what gives you any sort of financial
Do you have any
responsibility.
idea how slow the court system is? So you want to bog down the court system with us?
Yeah, I'm fine with bogging down the court system with this. My system didn't actually
You realize you're doing
him
the
paying, but if you want him
argument-
to pay, you would be.
You're doing the argument of like having to prove like the rape you know how like in some states there's like a rape that like abortion's banned, there's like a rape and incest or whatever caveat, I guess you would say.
Yes.
And you understand why that's ridiculous, because the amount of time that takes is probably like years. So it's completely meaningless.
She can take out credit if he pays.
She can
at
take
one
out
point
credit?
if she can prove it. Yeah, like you can find a way to do it. So if you are planning on having this baby, right, and he leaves, you were giving like 6 months as your line, which I think is post viability. But anyway, 6 months is your line. That means you're like 3 months away from having a baby. You should have $500. You can sell a couple of the baby things and have $500.
What baby things are you selling?
If you have cribs, if you bought clothes, if you have anything like that, like because you're planning to have a baby.
You think you can just sell those things?
You can sell them. They are sellable things.
So your argument is you should have to get rid of a bunch of your shit, because somebody else chose to leave you. So it's your fault.
You don't have to because you're still choosing the abortion.
Yeah,
You
abortions
don't
cost
have
money.
to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't
They
have to
cost
choose
money.
the abortion.
Okay, so
It's still your choice at the end of the day.
Then how do you afford having the kid?
How do you afford having the kid? Well, if you don't have $500, you wouldn't have been affording having the kid anyways.
There's plenty of people. The average fucking family cannot have a fucking $400 emergency fund. So, what world are you living in?
You shouldn't be having a kid then.
Okay, so you just
We're
don't
really gonna go into like
understand
this
anything.
responsibility. No, I'm saying you shouldn't be having a kid if you don't have $500. That goes for like anyway. That
You
goes
think
for
that's how like the world works, or
talk about what you
what
should
if
be doing, not
you
necessarily what
personally
happens.
do not have $500, but your partner did have a lot of money? You have been a homemaker where you have not had a job. You've been taking care of your spouse or your partner, you know, and you don't have any personal finances, but they have stolen all the money and left. What do you think about that?
Then you theoretically could get alimony anyways.
Not in your world.
Yeah, in my world.
So how would that work in your world?
Do you know what alimony is?
Describe it to me.
Alimony is paying for the fact that you were providing for the family and you were no longer providing for the
Yeah,
family.
but they just bailed.
Yeah, if they were paying for the family and they're no longer paying for the family.
Okay.
Like if they
do
were
you
the sole
think that
provider,
you just get that like
alimony.
within like a small amount of month time?
Not necessarily, but again, comes down to you can make a couple sacrifices and then get the money back.
Well, but you don't have anything. You sacrificed your body. They were taking care of you. You were like a home wife or whatever. Like you were a homemaker. You were completely at their whims. And then they leave you. What do?
You sell some shit.
You don't have shit.
You do have shit. You have
Nothing's in your
clothes.
name.
You have clothes.
No, you don't have
At
the
the very
clothes on
least.
your
The
back.
clothes, you
Okay.
probably have
How much
jewelry.
are you selling the clothes on your back for? Why do you think people, the
You have a
normal
closet
person
of
has
clothes.
jewelry? Are you trolling right now?
I said maybe jewelry.
You think that you can
You
just
have-
sell shit?
Yes.
Your own. So, what, should you sell your phone? So then now you can't get a job because you don't have a phone. Like you're probably homeless. Like what do you think these people can do?
You sell shit like clothes. You can sell other random
You don't have any
knickknacks that you
clothes.
probably have.
You don't
Yes,
have any
you do.
clothes. You didn't
You're
have
giving me an
anything.
incredibly unrealistic situation.
That's not true.
That a woman doesn't have more than one outfit.
I'm giving you a particular
incredibly
situation.
unrealistic.
You were with somebody who was the sole breadwinner of your relationship. So you gave them trust and then they completely fucked it. That shit happens. That's like 90% of the shit that happened in the fucking 50s, dude. Like,
Yeah, but him keeping your clothes is not the realistic aspect.
okay, but what if he doesn't want to give you? What if he's locked you out of your house? He is not interested in dealing with you because he found a hot girlfriend or whatever reason he has. Or maybe you've been struggling with your mental illness or whatever. And you have nothing. You don't have anything. You don't have any
Then
family.
you
You
call the
don't.
cops and they get you into your house.
On what standard? What is that based off of?
On a standard that your shit is inside.
No, it's all in his name. You didn't buy it. You don't have the credit
Those
card
aren't
receipts.
in someone's name. If you are gifted
No, but
something
if
that
you have
counts
the,
as
do
being
you
your
have the
property.
credit? How do you prove that something is yours?
Well, let's say you have a man and a woman living in a house. If you have a bunch of women's dresses, it's pretty presumable that it's yours. Also, if
No,
it's
he
your
likes to
size,
do
it's pretty
drag.
presumable that it's yours. If it's your size,
What
because
if you're the
chances are
same
you're not the same
size?
size either.
What if
Chances are you're not.
What are?
The thing is you're creating this incredibly specific scenario that
Yes,
is
because I think that you
very
don't understand
unrealistic.
how bad your ideology is here. It is like, do you think that these should fall through the cracks? Whether or not I'm being hyper specific is irrelevant.
You can fall through the. I mean, there's every system. Has
You
someone
think
that
that's
falls through the
okay for
cracks,
them to
let's be
fall
real.
through the cracks?
Every system is gonna have someone that will, and you are being
But
incredibly.
we already have a
realistic, so I'm
system
just gonna go
that
with yeah.
no, but you understand that we already have a system that stops that from happening. But you're advocating for a system that is you're pro cracks,
Yes.
and you think that's a good
Every
ideology.
system has cracks.
Again, are you really trolling
you
me
thinking
right
that
now?
a man? No. You thinking that a man doesn't have
Okay,
a
but
say
we
in
have
this shit is where
a lower
the
crack
crack is. It's a
ratio.
50% of that's a 50% of the population crack.
What are you just like man simping?
No, I'm saying that everyone gets a choice, and currently 50% of the population doesn't get a choice.
Doesn't get a choice. I mean, in terms of what? What are we talking about exactly? If you want to rephrase that, I feel like
in terms of whether they want the baby or not.
Whether you just want the baby or not. So are you
Whether you
pro
want to be a
state
parent.
sanctioned abortions?
No. That's why I'm saying that you just relinquish rights rather than making the woman abort.
Okay, well the baby still exists, so that doesn't even track with your argument.
Well, that is a bad. If you have a problem with that, then it's bad on the mother for knowing that she's gonna raise a single parent, like raise the kid on a single parent household.
What?
But at the end of the day, if you have a problem with kids growing up in the single parent household, then that is on the woman in this situation.
I don't see that as a connective tissue of what I asked.
But you're saying that the baby still exists. Yeah, the baby exists. It's not his baby though.
It is.
Unless you would rather I push for state-sanctioned abortions.
No, I think you want to push for state sanction. Okay, so hold on. I think I maybe need to establish your point of view. You think that men should be able to, or again, we're just using that as like a catch-all term. The person who did not have the kid, again, the man in the situation, just to keep it simple, they should have the option to what exactly?
To relinquish all parental rights and responsibilities.
Do they have to like legally do it? Like, do they have to go through a court, or
Yes,
is it just
it's
like
a
for like
form.
the
It's a
memes?
form. It would be just like a form saying.
Okay, so you think it should be like super
file a form.
easy?
Yeah.
So you think that do you think that somebody should be able to challenge that?
What would you challenge it on the grounds of?
I'm sorry?
What would you be challenging it on the grounds of?
That, oh my god, the entire hypothetical situation we're talking about. You've been planning to have a child with this person. They have, promised you, like, that they've been taking care of you in all of this situation, and you're doing this with them, and then they are just haphazardly bailing.
That the woman can haphazardly get an abortion.
Okay.
Without the man's knowledge.
You're doing whataboutism.
Why would
Stay
that be
focused.
grounds? No, it's not whataboutism. It's the entire premise of it is it being the equal for everyone. So it's not whataboutism. What I'm saying
that's why I'm asking.
That's why I'm
asking your position. God damn
it. It's
You're being
there's
incredibly
no reason
inconsistent
to
with this.
stop. There's no reason to stop men from being able to do it if the woman can do it.
You want it to just be a form. So you just want these people to run out to dry and have no ability to challenge that?
Can you challenge after a woman gets an abortion?
Can you challenge
Like
after, what are you talking about?
Can you challenge the fact that a woman got an abortion and say, hey, we were planning to have a kid together, and then she went and got an abortion?
Okay, well, the thing is, one of them is stuck with the kid, and the other one, like, you understand the idea of if somebody gets an abortion, none of you have any responsibility. Nothing has changed in this particular situation than where you were at originally. If you are not allowed to have an abortion or whatever, like, then you're in a completely different vibe. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not. Like, do you really, really think that the idea of somebody getting an abortion is akin to having to pay child support?
On the equality stance, yes.
How?
Because one person gets to choose to be a parent and the other doesn't.
Okay, that is just so bad shit. Can you
How is that bad shit?
elaborate? Can you elaborate?
Well, one person gets to choose to be a parent, the other one doesn't currently. I think that both people should get to choose.
Well, I mean, to an extent, that goes for. I mean, yeah, you both do get to choose. You could just not fuck. I mean, like, if that's like your argument, then we can just play it.
Why? What about people who say that against abortion? That's not consistent.
Well, because I don't have the same argumentation that you're doing. So I just think like your argument falls apart with that. It doesn't matter. You're going to have to deal with whataboutism because you know that I'm fucking right.
Well, what you're describing, if your argument is just don't fuck and then you won't have the responsibility, then why does the woman get to choose twice and the man gets to choose once?
What do you mean twice?
The woman chooses to fuck, the woman chooses to have the baby. The man only gets to choose
because it's her fucking body. Like, I don't, like, what?
And it's his future. Is he not allowed to have say in his own
Okay,
future?
what do you really think is going to happen if you chose to have that option? Yeah, obviously you can, by the way, I don't know if you know this, you can legally challenge child support. You know that, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't get it in this situation.
In what situation? The hypothetical? Are we going back to the hypothetical?
The one that you've given, or like in general, you just wouldn't.
Well, I don't know which one are you, I don't know what
child support wouldn't
position
go
you're
far.
taking. You can challenge it.
The most you would probably be able to do is be able to get it lowered a little bit.
Okay. You understand that the child support is not for the, like, in this situation, the woman, right? It's for the kid.
Yeah, but you didn't want the kid.
So do you think that you should be able to legally, like, murder them after they're born?
No.
Why?
Because that's murder.
Yeah, but you didn't choose it.
These are two very different things.
I'm just asking hypotheticals.
Murdering versus not supporting are two very different things.
Okay, do you think, like, you should be able to have the ability to, again, just completely, like, bail?
Before viability, yeah.
Let me ask you maybe on a different terms. Maybe this might be a better way to talk about this. Do you think if somebody, like, for example, you've been married for, you don't even have to be married, that's not really that important. You've been together for 20 years. You have 2 kids. They are, like, I don't know, 10 and 11. Do you think that if somebody wants to divorce from their like the husband, we'll say in the situation, wants to leave, and the wife's been a homemaker, she's been like the home mom, she's never had a job, they dated, they got married right out of high school, like whatever, do you think that they should be able to opt out of paying child support?
No.
Why?
He already chose to have the kid.
Why?
Because it's very clear that he chose to be a father, considering he was around for the entire 10 and 11 years of their lives.
Okay. What if he was like, he never really wanted to have the kids, he just kind of did it because like she wanted them?
Then it's too late. Again, viability, like 24-ish weeks.
Okay.
That's what you have
So
to decide.
you do think that child support in general makes sense?
Yes. Child support and alimony in general makes sense.
Okay, so your main problem is just surrounding the abortion aspect. So do you think that somebody should get an abortion if their partner leaves them? And we have, you know, your plan in place where I guess you don't have, you can like opt out. So you, even though in the same situation basically where you've been with them, let's say at the same time you've been with them for like, you've never had a job, you've been committed to them for 8 years, you've been taking care of them in like a, you know, a domestic level, and then you're planning to have a kid with them, and then they just bail. Do you think they should have an abortion if we're at like, I don't know, like 4 months?
If you're in that situation, yeah, you probably should.
Why?
Because you're not going to be able to give the child a good life.
So you would suggest that if like that happened to your friend, you would suggest that? You would just say it straight to their face. I know that your husband just left you, or your whatever, just left you. I think you should get an abortion. If she's like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this.
That wouldn't be like the first thing that I say. I would fucking console my friend. But yes, that is what I would recommend.
And you think that is what everyone should suggest to other people's friends?
I think that is the reasonable thing to suggest.
Is to get an abortion.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were super stoked for it. Like,
yeah.
So you unironically would say to them, yeah, I know this all just happened, but because this is on a time frame, like you obviously they don't really get a lot of time for this, where you would just like, I think you should get an abortion.
Yeah.
Do you really think that, or are you just saying that because you think that that's good?
I do really think that.
Would you say
that's
that?
the best outcome? I think that's the best outcome when it comes to the pregnancy.
Just like in general, or what?
In this scenario.
So you think that's a better outcome than just having to have guys pay child support? Because again, your friend wants to have this child in this situation. So you know they want to have this child, and instead of having child support, you want to tell them to get an abortion.
If she cannot figure out a way to have this baby be supported, then yeah.
Yeah, she could do it through child support. That seems like the way more reasonable option to me.
No, because both people should be able to get a choice. And so she can try to figure it out, or she can get an abortion.
So you just so instead of,
I think that she should get an abortion in that scenario,
you're gonna put her through the trauma of aborting a baby that she wants, that she loved, that she's made a connection with, to the point where it's like, again, like 4 months, you still like, I don't really know if you're like at kicking stage, and I don't know shit about like being pregnant, but like on an individual level, but like instead of just having the guy pay child support, you want her to go through that.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do a little bit of a different situation. What if she was raped?
Rape is different.
Why?
First of all, the guy should be in the ideal system. The guy would be in fucking jail. Realistically, he's not going to be. But in the case of rape, then you can.
Okay,
that's
so
when you can
he's in
challenge it.
jail. Do you think he should pay?
Do I what?
Do you think he should be forced to pay?
He can't pay if he's in jail. There's nothing for
No,
him to
that's
pay.
not true. If you have money, like, do you think your money just dries up if you go to
Do you
jail?
know how child support works? Do you know how child support works?
I don't
It's
know
based upon
the
income.
direct. Okay, but let's assume the guy is very
So if you're
rich.
not having an income,
if Harvey
if you're not having an income-
Weinstein, you can obviously sue for wealth. Like, I do know that aspect of it, and I don't care about the fact that you're going to try and be very hyper specific. You're just distracting from the point.
Well, no, because if he's
they
not
are
having
somebody
an
like,
income,
okay, but they have money. If they're worth like millions of dollars, you can absolutely have them pay. Like, even if they're not actively working, that would be
you
ridiculous.
notice that you've changed the scenario so much.
Yeah,
But
because
anyways.
I'm trying to dial in your ideology. I think you sound psychotic in most situations, so I'm just curious on where like maybe we can come to some sort of reasonable aspect here.
I already said yes to this question. I already said yes. I'm saying like it'd be very hard to get child support from any given dude if he's in jail. But yes, he could do
You
it.
didn't say yes, but okay, whatever. Well, that's fine. So you would say that a rapist should be required to pay child support.
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't get the choice in your head, right?
No, they don't.
Okay, so where does that come together when you're asking about like it being like equal? Are you saying it just because it's a crime or like?
Yes. Because you in the act of raping,
So
you gave away your rights for what would happen after you raped the person. But like wherever you put your seed when you raped someone, it is what it is. Now you have that.
Okay, so you're okay with. I guess then I have to ask, how do you prove that?
How do you prove that? Well, again, ideal situation. Dude's in jail. That's how you prove that. Dude is in jail for rape.
Do you think that rape trials will happen within like the first like I don't know month of it happening or 6 months of it happening?
No, but not that there's child support.
Right. Okay.
Also, to Dank in chat, it's very dependent on state. I'm talking about my state specifically.
Yeah, I know it's like weird when it comes to state shit.
Essaying someone is not fucking up. Bad wording. I mean, it's like you know the whole like punching up things about jokes. You're fucking up because I promise you the person that you're raping is better than you. So you would be fucking up.
What? I think they're referencing somebody else in the chat arena here. I'm not sure.
No,
exactly.
he's talking about me because I said like, oh, you fucked up, therefore you lose your right to do this. That was my statement.
Oh. Okay. I still feel like you haven't really made that case to me. I don't agree with you, so I guess I don't want to keep making it seem like I'm interrogating you. Do you really have any greater point with this, or are we kind of at an impasse?
My greater point is that men and women should be equal.
Sorry?
It's just that I think that men and women should be equal. So.
Well, do you really think that's equal?
Yeah.
How?
Both people get a choice. In fact, both people get two choices.
Okay, a choice. This is such a fucking broad. Yes, they both have a choice. They could have, in the context of consensual relationship, they could have not fucked. But do you really think the act of again, I guess we're going full circle back to the beginning here. Do you really think the act of getting an abortion is the same as the act of having to pay child support?
Long term wise, yes. Like when we're talking about long term, it's not like, oh, the man leaves and then he's got to pay a little bit of money in child support. He's got to pay 18 years of child support.
So you think the physical taxing it has on your body is equal to financial? Because you understand that she's also paying her fair share too. It's not like it's just like one side. Like I don't know how much, like especially if this person doesn't have a lot of like finances. Like as you yourself said, it is proportional to their income. Specifically when we're talking about like just like an average person, right? So they're not like fucking making them insanely rich. They're just getting a proportion of something that would be used if they were together anyways. So that doesn't mean that they just get to not work. Like being a single mother, for one, is work in itself, and for two, like you're gonna have to have a fucking job. Like you don't think that she's not financially viable for this? So the idea that you think that it is equally as taxing as the physical work that she did in her body and what she's positioning herself to do as taking care of a kid with no support, like, is the same as somebody just having to, you know, kind of like take a cut out of their paycheck is laughable. And you know that.
She's choosing that, though. That's the issue.
What do you mean? Yeah, I don't think he gets a fucking choice.
She would be choosing to get an abortion or not get an abortion anyway. Like,
so you think that she should get an abortion? She should have to get an abortion because you don't want to pay for fucking child support. She should get an abortion because you don't want to do that.
If that is the crux of your situation, then yes.
What do you mean the crux of your situation?
But like, if there's no other option other than relying on him, yeah, you should be getting an abortion.
No, it's not just relying. Do you think that like it's just like a fucking one answer question? No, it's a multiple faceted problem. They want to obviously have this kid. Obviously, the situation is going to be complicated, duh. But let's, again, go with the situation that you were planning to do this together. Maybe he owns the house. Now you are homeless, basically. He doesn't give a fuck about you because he's like Andrew Tate style or whatever. Like, you don't think that they should have some legal recourse to have you be forced to pay for that? You don't understand, like, not everyone gets child support who is not together with their you know, I guess not partner, but like with whomever they had a kid with. Plenty of people do it without having any support from the other person. Like, it's a ridiculous sentiment to think that like we should get rid of that because it just means that we should have less social safety nets for people who like it would actually benefit. I actually think
that's not a social safety net.
Okay, sure, whatever.
That's a direct one-to-one thing. You can put in a social safety net.
It is a safety net. Sorry, I shouldn't have said social. Correct.
At the end of the day, the thing about it is, in your situation, the crux of it was the child support, right? You're saying that that's not the crux of the situation, but you're saying that if he had stayed, she would be having the kid, and if she's leaving because she doesn't have the money, she's getting an abortion. So the child support is the crux of this.
What? I'm not saying that she's getting it. What? I'm saying she doesn't want to get an abortion.
Right, but you're saying that she would be in the situation to possibly need one because of the lack of child support.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You're saying that she's in the position to possibly get an abortion because of the lack of child support.
Well, that's your position. What do you mean?
No, that was your thing. You're like, oh, well, she wouldn't be in this position if we... Wait, no. You were saying that she wouldn't be in this position if we had child support. But...
No, I think there's plenty of people who are in that position, and having child support is very helpful for them. I don't think that people should be forced to get abortions because some asshole leaves them. That's what your position is.
You're not forced to.
Oh, stop. Do I need to give you the Coconut Island thing? It's stop. Your position is that they should get one. Whether or not you want to say the word forced, you are saying they should, and you would suggest that, and you don't want to have any level of safety net where they don't have to, because you would rather them fucking starve on the street because they chose the wrong ass decision to not have an abortion. That is your position.
If that's what's going to happen, you should have gotten an abortion.
Exactly. That is your position.
Responsibility at
Thank you for reiterating that. We all know what your fucking position is.
Okay, wait. Chicken is having a stroke in chat. I'm disregarding practice. I'm disregarding in practice in the way that you're describing it because of the fact that in practice people are retarded, and I don't support people being retarded.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't know if you said
yep.
it on your
You're a
stream. Sorry.
conservative.
I am a conservative.
That's.
I also am retarded, so.
Well, maybe we shouldn't listen to your opinions then.
Just as retarded as you. You said you have autism. I got autism. Same
It's
page.
not being retarded.
That's definitely being retarded.
Do you think being autistic is being retarded?
Yeah.
It's pretty antiquated. Do you think
'Cause
when I
that-
say
that-
something
that
is
was the old
retarded
term.
that it's autistic? You think when I say somebody's like, I don't know, decision to run their car into a wall is autistic? Do you think that's what we mean when we use that phrase?
Sure. I'll defend this one because I don't think that there's any word that you shouldn't be able to say. Or that anyone should
I'm
be
not
able to say.
saying that
Ladies
there's
and
not a
gentlemen,
word that you shouldn't say.
We got him.
I say retarded all the time. You know that. Like, I'm not trying to do a. Are you going back to the conservative like, like talking points? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you know that's not. Do you think when people say something is
I've
retarded
never
that
heard
they're
you say retarded.
referring to? I say it literally all the time. That they're referring to somebody like you, or like me, who is autistic.
Sometimes. Not every time. Words can have a lot of meanings.
Yeah, of course.
Queer has a lot of meanings.
You're just saying things.
That was like the core of the word. Go back in history.
Yeah, so is idiot. Do you think that's what people mean? Do you think when people say idiot, they mean autistic?
Sometimes. Sometimes people they call idiots they are doing because of autism. At the end of the day, it means a whole shit ton of things, including autistic.
Okay, so you're just saying things. You realize you're not saying anything, right?
I'm saying that you and I both are.
Yeah.
I'm saying that that came from chat. Someone in chat was saying stupid shit.
Okay, I think we've exhausted the conversation here because you're kind of just saying I do need to go to the bathroom. So, pleasure talking to you. I think that your position, I still stand by being incorrect. It was nice to clarify, though.
You should unban me in chat, by the way.
Huh?
You should unban me in chat, by the way.
Nobody banned you.
Yeah, I'm banned right now. I just got banned.
That's probably like a 10-minute ban or something. I don't know. I think they're just trying to keep you
It's
focused.
not a timeout, it's a ban.
All right, we can unban you in chat. But it was a pleasure speaking with you, and hopefully you're not too salty. All right, have a good one.
You as well. Peace out.
I don't know, just time them out for a little bit. I think it's a little unfair. They're still learning. I'm going to the bathroom. Be right back. And did you want to talk about? Wait, what do you want to talk about, Foxy? How many tabs? Oh shit! I guess I was.
Warning.
Ah! Stop! I will eventually watch that video, but there's no fucking way.
So okay.
I get to anything today. Foxy, what do you want to talk about? The Jerry Papini thing. I really do want to do some true crime. Just to go over the debate. Oh, okay. I guess if Glitter wants to join, or any, anybody else, I guess we'll have a whole thing. I can hear myself. Hello?
Hello.
What did you want to talk about?
Can you hear me?
I can. You sound great.
Okay, good.
Hold on. I think it's raining. Hold on.
Glitter. Hey, Glitter. Glitter join.
Hey, how are we doing? How bad's my lag right now?
Hopefully not too bad.
Oh, you're fine.
You sound fine.
Not that bad.
Okay, good. Oh shit. I just lost my thing.
So, thoughts?
So, after the debate, I kind of disagree with what he had to say. I feel like he has a similar take to um a centrist kind of, because I feel like he's probably pro-choice up until a certain point, which I feel like is a lot of like libertarian takes mainly, because a lot of them think that, okay, if you have a certain point where like the fetus will turn into a child. Now I disagree with that. I feel like it's the woman's choice. If they want to get an abortion, they should get it at any point. It shouldn't matter the time. But there are some that some people that think that, okay, well, at a certain point that fetus is going to actually evolve into a child. And once it evolves into a child, then it's too late to get an abortion, I personally think it's unfair to think that way, because like, especially if you're not a woman or not a person that can give birth, or because not women aren't the only people that can give birth. Like there's trans men, there's like non-binary people that can give birth. I'm not
Right.
specifying it to one gender, but I'm just saying like anyone with a uterus can give birth, and I feel like that's just taking away their rights to decide what they want to do with their body. This is gonna sound like a Soundvy take, because I know she made this take like when you debated her about people who just get abortions for fun. I don't think there's anyone out there that would do that. I still feel like if they're gonna do it for that reason, I'm still gonna fight for those people to get abortions as well, because it's their choice. I don't feel like there's anyone whose morals are that fucked, but I feel like there are people that do that, but I don't think I'm gonna impose on their rights to decide what they do with their body. If they decide to get an abortion because of a sacrifice or whatever, I don't think there's anyone out there that would do that. But I want to treat everyone equally. And if it can't just be like, oh, this group of people is getting an abortion because of financial reasons, but this group of people is getting an abortion because of some fucked up reason. I'm not gonna like oppose that, because I think what their reason for getting abortion is fucked up. I'm just gonna fight for everyone's equal rights. It shouldn't matter. But I guess the thing with like libertarians and like centrists is they want equality for everyone. So like I feel like
Wait, Gorps is not a centrist. Gorps is a conservative. He identified himself as a conservative.
Well,
I thought he was joking. He's actually
No.
he's
I think I understand that there is like a libertarian centrist vibe to it, because he's not like doing a hard staunch line on their positions. So it does
Corpse is a
come
conservative.
off
He's a libertarian conservative. There's
right,
no,
libertarian
like,
conservative. Yes, exactly. And it's just like I feel like I can't tell where
he's a
their
sexist.
actual
This is the
positions
second
are.
conversation in like 2 days that they've taken an anti-woman stance. The first was they told me that my position was invalid for finding drag shows offensive.
Yeah. Wait, Glitter. What's your what was your stance on drag shows again? Because I
And
was
you're
in the
invalid. I think that drag is the transphobic version of cabaret, and that you can achieve basically the same thing through burlesque or cabaret, but that drag is an explicitly transphobic framing that has a long history of being practiced by cis homosexual men mocking the trans community by pretending that
Okay, Glitter. I'm
basically.
gonna personally, I'm gonna disagree with you on that take. I don't feel like drag queens are transphobic. I feel like there are certain people,
I
like
think that the
especially
framing
gay
of
men,
drag
where,
is transphobic, which is different than saying
Well,
drag
yeah, no,
queens are
I
transphobic.
understand that some like drag performances absolutely can seem incredibly offensive. And I don't think that any of us disagree with that for sure.
I can definitely agree with Glitter's take on that. I definitely feel like there are certain situations where the drag shows are definitely transphobic, especially ones where it's like a straight heterosexual man dressing up in drag and like mocking, trans people, or
Steven
like,
Crowder.
like Glitter said, there are even
Well,
gay
so I
men
think
that
it's important to realize why drag is so useful to Steven Crowder,
No.
right? It's like I don't think it's a
Yeah, he thinks
coincidence
it's
that
like
that's what he sees
a
on,
joke
right?
to make fun of trans
Well,
people.
Yeah.
But I don't think
right
I don't think a lot of people who do drag at all like. And I understand the argument of like they don't mean for or whatever, but like I think that they should be more aware of their performances. But I think a lot of drag queens are aware of their performances when it's related to trans women. Of course, like if we're talking about like RuPaul, not the most
God, I think drag. I can't tell you the number of times in a bar I've had to explain the difference between myself and RuPaul to some like witless,
sure,
well-meaning.
Yeah, but that's I guess like the main point like right there is kind of like the well-meaning aspect, but it's like I understand that it's probably fucking annoying and it's like cringe and people like you shouldn't have to like
Over and over and over again.
yeah, absolutely. But again, I don't think that inherently that it is something that is meant to be transphobic. I think it's just kind of how people express themselves. They're not necessarily trans, but they might have like an element of them that. But yeah, I absolutely still agree
In my
and
ideal
validate
future
that.
world, that would just be like a genderqueer cabaret performance, right? Like that shouldn't be
Sure.
And part of what I think makes drag as a framing so problematic is that it sets up the idea that quote unquote cross dressing is some like special show-worthy transgressive act, which it's not. It's just like it's not show-worthy.
Yeah,
There's just people who are like that every day. Just go if you're genderqueer, be genderqueer during a burlesque show.
Right, but I mean, again, like I do think like but I mean, maybe that's the right way to say it's like we should just do like a different framing of that, and I would stand with that. I'm sorry, Fox, I cut you off. Go ahead. What you're saying?
No, I was just gonna say that I definitely feel like what conservatives like to do is because I was definitely getting centrist. It turns out like when I read his bio, I did see he was voting red. Voting red means you vote for Republican, right? Or
Yeah,
like
I mean he's a conservative. He's
conservative. So he's like
a pick-me conservative who's taking right-leaning stances to get attention. He's also a streamer.
Yeah, I wonder if
it
he's
seems like has
doing
been
a
trying to milk us for
little.
clout.
I think it's satire for some. I don't know why. It just seems like
Oh, I'm so tired of people saying that about every fucking
I wouldn't say it's satire,
no
but
disrespect, Foxy, but I do feel like I hear that about every bad person on the internet. People are
Okay,
like, "Don't you think it's a joke?" And I'm like,
no, okay. To validate what Foxy was saying in a way, like I wouldn't necessarily say it was satire, but it definitely felt like they didn't believe what they were saying, and I don't think that was satire. I think that was just the grift.
being a troll.
You know?
Yeah,
but
you
so
have to understand, like some like libertarian like right leaning people they try to so I'll give Destiny as an example. Like sometimes Destiny likes to take takes that aren't particularly left-wing takes. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to use this as another example. June uses takes that aren't particularly left-wing either, but she's still
I'm not
because
familiar with
her
who that
audience
is.
is majority right-wing. Shoe on head, June.
Oh, I'm sorry.
don't
I
know
didn't know.
June?
I didn't know what her real name was. I know Shu. Sorry.
So
No
she
doxing.
likes, yeah. She knows that her audience is majority conservative, so
Right.
she tries to portray somewhat right-wing views, but also stay left-wing. Because I do feel like Shoe on Head is left-leaning, but I
Mhm.
definitely feel like she has a more conservative audience. Like same with Destiny. I feel like Destiny kind of has a more conservative audience,
Mhm.
but he still is left-leaning. So I feel like he
Destiny is
has
definitely
a
lib.
more-
Like I don't think there's any
Yeah,
two ways
he's
about
pretty
that. He's
libbed
super
up,
lib.
but yeah, he does have
He's hardcore left.
Absolutely.
He's left as fuck.
No, I absolutely
He's
would
just
agree
rough around the
though.
edges.
Yeah, he does have a lot of like righties that I don't.
Like his takes on like gun rights and stuff, and his takes on like the economy definitely, I could see why some people might think that he's not fully left wing. I know he's like lib, but like
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess like if
Well,
someone
he's
like
not a
looking from the
progressive. I mean, you
Yeah,
could say it in the name,
not
but
a
he's not like a
radical left.
socialist. Yeah, he's not like a
He's not
socialist
a
or some shit.
communist. I think he believes in a lot of social programs.
No,
I don't even
I don't
know if
think
it's fair to say he's not
Destiny's
a socialist.
politics are particularly bad. I think he's just. I mean, we've all heard it. He's a spite politics sometimes. Like he'll just say shit.
He's got an edgelord.
Yeah.
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 But
yeah, so I don't know. I just I thought I missed the last hour because I had to do other stuff, but I did hear the setup for Gorps's argument, and I thought it was going to be like a week before we got to the point where we were openly. And I came back, and I was like, "Oh, it happened already. That's funny." It totally.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna join the call like during the debate, but I was like, I want to hear this first, and then I kind of want to just put in my afterthoughts. So he seems pretty cool, but like I don't really like his views on things. If he
I
is,
don't
I
think he.
really hope
I
he's.
mean, I think he's
I
pretty
hope
offensive.
he's joking because a lot of the
He's
things he
not.
was saying.
I don't see any
you know,
reason to believe he's joking. What's the joke?
That's the thing. What is the joke?
Yeah, so he's
But then
not
again,
joking.
but like, but it's just I guess it's just like because when he said this, because I'm gonna quote what he said, but he said that like
that's what
basically
diversity is. Some of us are shitty.
Alright.
Sorry, Foxy, keep going. I don't mean to.
No, I mean, Glitter makes a good point. I definitely feel like there's a lot of diversity, and there are admittedly a lot of shitty people in the world. Excuse my language. I feel like even in real life, like when I like see people there, I see shitty people all the time that have like very opposing views. That's why I feel like in like the workplace and stuff, and like just in general society, I feel like politics and religion aren't really brought up because you're gonna come across people with diverse views. You're gonna come across people that not only will disagree with you, but might have opinions that are like
offensive to your morals or whatever that you still
yeah,
have to work with.
offensive. Morally
Yeah.
offensive,
yeah,
Can I give a response to his abortion take really quick? Because I think it's like I think
just
he gave like
really
a baby
quick,
brain take.
absolutely, but really quick. I think I agree
Okay,
with
sure.
Mark. I just think that he's not fleshed out his ideas yet, and that's kind of why I didn't want to ban them, because it seems like
Let's talk off stream about that. Let's talk off stream. I don't want to have this. I don't
That's
like to have
totally
this
fair. That's
conversation
totally
in
fair.
public.
Go ahead.
We do reconsider stuff sometimes, folk. I don't want to sound like I just
yeah.
don't like to have these conversations.
No, that's totally fair. That is absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So you wanted to address his
Okay, so
abortion take.
I think his abortion take was really baby brained, and it frustrates the fuck out of me. So
yeah,
here's the thing. So like, I'm a trans woman. I could get somebody pregnant if that happened. That would seriously
about
alter
it.
my life plans in ways that I'm not currently planning for. Right. So I'm like one of these potentially effective parties. I don't think we have a good word for like. I mean, birthing person doesn't sound great, and the like sperm donor sounds horrible.
Yeah, I mean, just say whatever. Just do man,
like,
woman, all whatever, whatever.
You could have an.
Oh, you lagged there. Sorry.
I don't have to personally terminate. Right. I said I could have an oopsie baby that I wouldn't have the ability to personally terminate.
Sure.
Like I could get somebody preggers. So I'm in this potentially affected category, even as a trans lady. Okay, whatever. And I don't want to. I'm not in a position where I feel like I'd be ready to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That said, if a human exists because you got laid, and that human needs food, even if you were like, no, I told the other person that I didn't want to have it, like, bummer. Like, that human needs food. So at that point, it grows up on a single income, or it grows up on a single income with some form of child support. So Gorps's position was that the freedom of the individual who got somebody pregnant is more important than the well-being of the human they created through their own choice.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's a horrible framing. Like, also by that argument, a person could go around and get any number of people pregnant, and as long as they say no backsies before the baby, like before 6 months or whatever,
Right. Like Drake.
then they don't have to pay child support. Yeah. It also creates a frame where you could do that and then try to get back with your ex after you have like gotten out of paying child support.
Right. That's a good point.
It's just a fucking baby brain stance. Here's a stance
it's an
that would
anti-baby
achieve
brain stance.
Yeah. Okay, here's a chance that would achieve a similar outcome without being super anti-woman.
Mm-hmm.
I support a universal basic income.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for every child in a household, there should be funds available from the state that would provide for
You lagged there again.
That kid. In that scenario,
wait,
if the dad ends
hold
up
on,
fucking
sorry.
off,
You lagged, provide
sorry.
for, and then you had a little bit of lag there.
So I believe that the state should provide enough resources to parents that they can provide for the children that they're raising.
Absolutely.
In that situation, whether or not the dad fucks off or wanted an abortion or doesn't want an abortion, or the trans mom, if she's a shitty trans mom, because as we established, there are shitty trans people too.
Funny.
Or the shitty NB who has a peen, right? These are all options. The kid is still taken care of.
Right. Because it's not about the parents, it's about the kid, and I feel like a lot of people do lose sight of that. I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I think that arguing against what do you call it? Arguing against child support is anti-child and anti-birthing person, and
Mhm.
arguing for all the same fucking thing without being anti-woman. So that's why I thought that stance sucked. That's my full thing. Chad, do you have any questions? Anybody else?
You lagged a little bit there at the end, but I think we probably got the point. But if you want
I
to
agree with
reiterate.
I agree with the Green Party, honestly.
What's the Green Party's take?
The Green Party's basically, it's left wing. It's basically agrees with like green policy. Like energy efficient stuff. Like also like taxes, like lower taxes. And
Wait, what does that
stuff.
have to do with this? What does that have to do with this?
I don't.
What's their
I don't
stance?
know.
What's their stance
Mark
on?
just said go green, and then I just was like,
Oh.
yeah, go green. Yeah.
No, the Green
Don't-
Party's a spoiler party. They're gonna
Okay.
the Green Party. More votes the Green Party gets. So the thing is, right now, if the Green Party pursues its goal of trying to get 5% of the vote, that means that Biden is going to have to get he's going to have to beat Trump by more than 5 points in every swing state. That's pretty unlikely to happen. So the more support the Green Party gets right now, the more likely it is that Trump becomes president again.
Yeah, wait, why would that be the case though, Glitter?
Because of the way electoral politics work in America. So in a swing state, right, that means that either candidate could win because it's very close.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, obviously, okay. So I'm gonna go back to U.S. politics, but I'm gonna get into Canadian politics really quick.
Oh, they're totally
so
different.
it's
Okay,
me-
I'm sorry. Okay, they're totally different. You have coalition. You have a different parliamentary system. It's totally different.
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
attacking your
I'm
Green
from
Party.
Canada, Glitter. So
I'm
we're-
sorry.
we-
I'm so sorry. No, your Green Party's fine. I have no problem with your Green Party. Our Green Party's fucking morons, and I agree with most Green policy, but our Green Party is just our Green Party's like fucking Jill Stein and Putin is a whole thing. Our Green Party's a sock puppet for Russians.
I'm gonna be honest. In Canada, like even like most of like the parliament in Canada, like even the conservatives, there's like a lot of conservative members in parliament in Canada who are like I guess like I don't know the word for it, but like they also support causes like they support immigration, they support LGBTQ rights. But basically, most of Canada, except for maybe the Nazi Party of Canada, is mostly like we're pretty nice here.
We're jealous of you. We resent your ability to govern yourselves.
How dare you say that, Glitterbell? We fucking hate Canadians here.
That's fucking base though. Props. And sorry, yeah, no, I think that the Green Party in America and Canada are like completely different entities. So I didn't. Sorry if I was like loose cannon there for a second.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, I was just gonna say that we work in like seats, so like we would have like so far the Liberals are winning in seats, so I think they have like 168 seats or something, and then like the Conservatives they have like 119, 120.
Where do your
something
seats come from? I have like absolutely no idea how Canadian politics work. So like for us, like our like Congress or whatever is from like, you know, from states and shit. Like you only have like what, like four provinces? You got like the question mark, fill in the blank. Help me out.
I think they have like 6 to 8.
Foxy, how many provinces do you have?
Oh shit, the Mounties got them.
The Mounties got Foxy.
No, they're on their Mies.
No.
Let's just not say anything until they come back. 10 provinces.
10 provinces, 2 territories.
What are
the territories?
territories?
Is that the Northwest Territory?
Well, they
Is
also
that with, like,
have
Whitehorse?
Yeah, well they have basically like Antarctica or what's which one's what? God, I don't know anything about like Canada.
Critical Rad Theory, what's the best territory?
Oh.
Hello?
Are we back?
Hey,
Can you-
okay, God. Yeah.
Am I back?
You are back. You see, you have
good.
like one party had 160 member represent. Like, where did they come from? Because you only have 10 provinces and 2
The
territories.
Liberal Party has 168. I think
Where do
they
they
have
come from?
168. They're voted in by citizens. I think it's citizens.
Just how though? Gone again. For city-ish?
I think it's province, like international, like all Canada, like. So yeah.
Do you vote?
I'm gonna vote in 2025.
You fucking
for
better,
the-
Foxy. Look, here's the thing. We vote in this community. We believe in democracy here.
Yeah.
And you're a backup plan, okay? We gotta run somewhere. We're going to Canada.
That's 100% true.
So you better keep that shit good.
Yeah.
Foxy, you good? I feel like we're having some lag here or something.
Foxy. No, Foxy.
Hello?
Yeah, you're
Hello?
back. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Foxy. It took me a long time to get my stuff all dialed in. Don't worry about it.
What's your opinion on like underage voting? Do you think that like anyone under the age of 18 should be allowed to vote? I feel like they should.
I would consider
It's not a
lowering
priority
it
for
to
me.
16, but I wouldn't probably go lower than that. I don't really have a strong opinion on that, but I would want to relate it with more government classes. And I don't mean like indoctrinate, just like how the government fucking works. You know what I mean? And like supporting more like civic duties and stuff like that, like respecting the privilege of being able to vote. I think that like even you should be able to vote in high schools, but I understand that that's going to come with a lot of like issues here and there, but I could be amenable to that. I don't personally find it that. I think 18 is fine. But I could be moved on that position. I really do think that we need to have more efforts in schools to promote, for one, like political education. Like I don't know about you guys, but like I didn't like have a I had a 6 months course that was called government in on my senior year in high school. Not enough time at all to know shit about shit. And I really do think politics should be more involved in and I don't mean like political like leaning should be involved in things. I just mean understanding the political like the way that like our government works, and I guess, you know, in Canada how your government works. But like, cuz I feel like there's so many people who are just so unaware of these type of things. And I also would say that we also need to do that with finances. And I mean that in the same way,
Yeah.
where it's just about like, there's
Economics should be taught in high school.
yeah, like my econ class again, it was 30 or as 6 months, or not 6 months, it was half of the year. So I guess how long was like a school year when you're in the high school? Like nine
Good semester
9
is what you're
months?
trying to say?
In Canada, it's like 4 years, so it's like grade 9 to grade 12. So like, and then there's OACs, and then you could take like year
Yeah,
5
but how
if
long?
you're like.
Oh, you're saying you do get that type of education?
Yeah, so like, yeah, basically like I'm going to college, but like, yeah, there's like it's year 5, and then there's like AOCs and stuff. So like, yeah.
Don't follow your dreams. Pick a major that makes you money.
Take the red pill.
Fucking not even joking.
And
I
I mean,
have a
if you
social
get a
degree. Don't follow your dreams.
no, you get to do a programming degree. That gets you anywhere, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
The robot overlords are the future. Go that route.
True.
Yeah, I've been like I've been getting into like politics for like I feel like for like this past year, especially over the summer, I've been getting into politics. I feel like prior to 2023, I guess I wasn't conservative, I guess. I just saw things from a different perspective as like, there's certain groups that like, everyone's, everyone, if no one's oppressed, everyone's the same, no group. And then I guess my beliefs changed over time, because then I was like, okay, there are groups who are more oppressed than others. There are people who are, and I guess through experience in the real world, I actually experienced that stuff, and I saw that stuff, and it's like, wow, there's groups of people that are more oppressed than others, and they deserve free education. I feel like in places like Canada and stuff, like we don't tax Indigenous people, like they don't have to pay taxes, which is good. I also feel like we should do more to help with funding for reserves. I feel like the state of reserves in Canada is like at its all-time low.
Reserves
I
are
feel
like,
like
are they like reservation?
reservations, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I feel like I also feel like Indigenous people should have like access to like all land in Canada. I feel like any land, I feel like they should be able to go to in Canada, and they shouldn't be like questioned. I also feel like there should be free education for Indigenous people in Canada. Like now, a lot of people say there is. That was actually a myth. It's actually a myth that Indigenous people have free education. Now, they're not fully, because there are ways where they can get free education, but it's very like it's complicated. Like you have to have a certain degree, and you have to be like in a certain class, and you have to be like you're kind of picked. Sometimes they like pick a student out of like, so you only get like odds out of like 1 out of 5 chance of you getting like, you know I think there should be free education for Indigenous people in Canada and for everyone, but I definitely feel like, especially for Indigenous people, seeing as though this is their fucking land. This isn't ours land, this is their land.
Well,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
jump in on that. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that free education for everybody is just a great policy. I also think that policies that rectify historical oppression and wrongs are critical and important.
Mm-hmm.
I all
Did you?
and I'm willing
I'm
to make
sorry,
it.
you lagged it, and it lagged in the way you did the oh.
That's hilarious. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I could be wrong about this, but I'm willing to jump in and make this take because I think it's kind of important.
Yeah.
We do live in a global multicultural society. Most of us, especially I think in this chat and this community, are pretty like pro-immigration and pro-refugee.
Yes.
Obviously, I
Right.
think everyone here should be maybe except for male rights, but I feel like everyone else.
I think he's
in this
already
chat
been banned
is-
today, so.
Some nights he makes it through the whole night, and I get really excited. Like, occasionally we agree on stuff. I
We
believe
lo-
in you, male rights. If
we-
you're listening, I think there's
Male rights
space
is like
to grow.
male rights is like the uncle at Christmas Eve, you know, like that's just like ranting about stuff that like everyone disagrees
He's
with.
the conservative I dislike the least. He's
Male rights is such an icon.
yeah, he is. Fucking, if you're out there listening, male rights,
He is
we
probably
mostly like you, but we're also worried about
he is
you.
the best like sport because he gets banned all the time and he never
He's
bitches about
good-natured.
it.
He's good natured. He also like he hassles people a lot, but he does pay attention to where the boundaries are, and I
True.
appreciate
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Because other people come in and like don't learn where the boundaries are, and he's fucking taking the time to figure that out, and I respect that.
We all
You
have a
know,
place in
some
our
people
heart
come
for
in-
male rights.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I'm really touchy, so the fact that he managed to get past all of my like, I'm kind of impressed by it.
You know, I actually think male rights is cool. He's contributed to the channel a few times, and
Totally.
he's respectful of people, and
Yeah.
I like that. It's just funny whenever like I think he's improving. Is like okay, he's finally saying
And then he
something
just
good, and then
says
he's
some
like,
psychotic
and then he
shit.
says something like.
It's amazing. It's awful, but it's pretty amazing.
Like male rights would be like, this guy's insane, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. And then he's like, I think no one should get an abortion. I'm like, okay, male rights.
You're like you're rooting for him. Like he's like the heel turn, like you know, like in wrestling.
Everyone's hoping for it.
Yeah, he's-
everybody wants to do a face. I think that if he became a lib with the name Male Rights USA, he would be the funniest fucking troll on the internet. And like, I feel like he hasn't.
What if he's just like fucking with us like half the time?
But it would be so much funnier for him to troll right wingers with that name because they would never expect it.
I think the fact that he's here every single day, he's like, I feel like he's just somebody I know or something. I don't know. It's a weird
Watch him
feeling.
be one of your fucking one of Razor's relatives or some shit.
That's
and
what
have
I
been
think it
yelling
is
at Razor's dad this
Razor.
whole
Like
time.
I have a conspiracy theory that it's Razor. Just fucking with me. I know it's not because I've been literally in the room while I saw him type, but maybe it was somebody else. I don't know.
That would be amazing. Oh, male rights.
We miss you, and hopefully you will come back to us. He's in my heart like an hour.
You're gonna rip me up. That's amazing. God, there was one other point that it doesn't matter. There was one other point that I was alting about earlier, but I can't remember what it was. Holy shit! I started reading. I've been reading a bunch of Marx. Can I talk about this? Are people interested? I don't have to, but I can
Well,
talk
Foxy,
about it.
did you
if
finish
people
your
want.
point about Canada? I forgot where we left off. We just started talking about male rights.
Oh yeah, I don't mean to.
Education. Did you? If Glitter wants to go, he can go first, or she can go first. She, her pronouns, right? Glitter.
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
her. Okay, so she can go first if she wants to, right? You wanna
I'm
go?
I'm reading a bunch of Marx, and I just think it's really. So I read I listened to the audiobook of the Communist Manifesto over the weekend twice, just because I was like, let's see if this shit's what I think it is. And it was so much worse than I thought it was gonna be. I was like, fuck, this guy has got such a fucking boner for violence, and he like dog whistles a lot. Like he doesn't say. At points he says it outright. At points he doesn't. At points he's like more whatever nuance. But he's like he makes fun of people who other socialists who want to achieve socialism through peaceful means, and is like he's like it's gotta be violent.
I don't know. Well, there was one thing. There's a line. Let me find this line. I thought this line was like hysterical. I think he's actually funny in ways like when he doesn't mean to be funny.
Very
He says that
Vosh-like,
people tried
some
to
would
kill
say.
the. Yeah, there's a line where he's like, "My critics tried to kill the Communist Manifesto." No, excuse me. My critics tried to kill Das Kapital first with silence, as they did my previous works, which I think is the funniest way to frame being ignored as like an act of hostility. It's just like,
Nice
dude.
cope, loser. I mean, again, if
So
you've
I
ever tried to
remember-
read his other like Das Kapital is like impossible to read.
It's 1,000 pages. I'm listening to the audiobook. I'm like 15% into it. The manifesto is shit. Dylan is right about that. Also, the manifesto calls for things that would just be ecologically disastrous. Like, genuinely. Like, Marx believed that we should provide state education, which included education on for children with like limited education on how they would work in the factories. So like for Marx, like state education led directly into factory labor.
Love that.
He also like actively advocated for the redistribution of the population, and he wanted to push people out of the cities, which basically means he wants to develop suburbs, which like ecologically that's fucking horrible.
Gross.
Cities are way more environmentally friendly than
Right.
suburbs. So he's operating with this. Yeah, it is because children worked back then. So my point is that it's fucking out of date, and that we shouldn't still be using
All
dogma
right, he's
from
a product of his time.
1849.
He's an old grandpa. All right, we'll give him that.
Yeah, I think that I think that Marx has a lot of great ideas, like genuinely great ideas, and that a lot of modern Marxists stick to all of his shit like dogma
Yeah, that's
rather
why
than taking the good
like
bits.
Lenin, Marx, or Marxist Leninists are like the dumbest motherfuckers in the world, because that's like what they glob onto is that like really like bad takes that he had, and they're just like, no, we have to like make this as our religion, so everything he said was like a good idea, and they don't
and it's
understand the greater
crazy, 'cause,
point.
like, so like one of his things that
Right.
is really good
Or Stalinist,
is he has this labor theory of value that I think is like pretty valuable. The idea is that, okay, let me see if I can work through his story. So he does this over in the audiobook. If you listen at normal speed, this would be like 7 hours. I think I can explain it in a couple sentences. I think he's very verbose. Okay, so let's use the things that he uses. Like, let's say that there's like 20 linen or like one coat, and you could trade me your linen for a coat. That would be like an example
Oh,
of
they said
exchange,
Lenin.
right?
Sorry, linen for coat. Got it.
No, yeah, but no. Okay. Okay, how do I describe this? Any given item could be exchanged for a third item, right? I think Marx uses Bibles. I'm
What do you
trying
mean
to
a
keep this
third
coherent.
item? Any.
So right now we've said that like one coat is worth 20 linen, right? You could trade 20 linen to get a coat. A coat probably has some linen in it, and it's got additional labor that makes that cloth into a jacket.
Right, like we're playing like Minecraft or something.
Straight up like we're playing fucking Minecraft.
Got it.
Okay. At some point, if people are doing a bunch of trading, you want some sort of universal thing that you can use to make trades, right? So that you're not always okay. So that's basically where money
Like
comes in.
fiat currency.
Yeah, it's like a third thing that you can trade for either linen or coats that's smaller than linen and coats that you can carry around.
Right.
That makes a bunch of sense, right?
Right. I mean,
Okay.
In the time of Marx, they already had fiat currency. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean currency like so here's one of the places where I contend with Marx. It's coming up really quick.
Sure.
Really
Go
soon.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's good. Okay, so he has this idea that all value fundamentally comes from the labor it takes to produce a good.
Right.
The linen takes labor, so he's got a thing called the fetishism of the commodities, which is the idea that when you and I look at a thing, like when you look at your microphone, we can both see that. I can see it in the camera, you can see it in front of you. We don't think like, oh, some person like drew this out, and then some person like traced where all the wires would be and thought about every piece of like every chip that's going to go in it, and then they sourced and ordered that, and somebody was in charge of the metal work. Like literally every part of that was human labor. When we look at it, we see an object. Our brains don't remember all of that labor whenever we
Right.
look
So
at it,
so it's
right?
the
Does that make
idea.
sense?
Yeah. So it's the idea of like not like it's like just kind of the human condition of when we look at an object, we don't think about the work that went into it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So he'll say that a commodity is anything that you can exchange in a market for
Mhm.
capital. It's a little complicated, but we could probably say microphones are a commodity, right?
Sure.
So when you look at a commodity, you don't see all the labor that went into it. So he sees commodities as like the crystallization of labor. So if you think of it like a kind of an abstract term, it's like labor happens and it turns into microphones and everything else. That makes sense, right? On some level.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Sorry. I you hear that last part?
So the crystallization of labor is basically the idea that like labor happening turns raw goods into commodities and stuff. So people doing work is why we get microphones and why we get
Right.
American flag.
Right. Yeah, like there are like raw resources, and then the labor makes it into things that we care about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it also seems like we have there's some generalized conception of how much stuff is worth. And Marx believes that worth all comes back to how much labor it took to produce that good.
Right.
This isn't concrete. It goes in flux.
Of course.
But like if creating, jackets is really time intensive, and then suddenly we get factories and it takes a lot less labor to make a jacket, the price of jackets goes down. That makes sense, right?
Sorry, one more time.
So if we get new technology
Uh-huh.
and making jackets becomes easier, then
Right.
it takes less labor to make a jacket, so
Right.
the exchange value of the jacket goes down.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I was
It's easy to
thinking-
make us not work
yeah,
much.
I thought this was a competitive
Yeah.
thing. Sorry, that makes sense. Yeah.
So this is a great theory. It's not perfect. It's a really good theory.
Sure.
It works through, I think, basically across all history and time.
Yeah.
I think there are probably other things that contribute to value, but I think that there's probably not many. I think this is pretty close. I think scarcity is a big part of it. I think that one thing that's really interesting about Marx is he creates basically no space for leisure. And I think that you could make an argument that a lot of what drives people's like motivation is making it so that shit's cool when they're off the clock. And he doesn't really take that into consideration as a motivating factor. That opens a huge can of worms. I don't have like anybody who's a theorist would probably tear me a new one for even proposing that, but that's a thought, right? Okay. I hope this is chat still seems to be responding. People are just fucking bored. Just tell me, L better bell and I'll shut up. But okay. Okay, there was like a point that I was like driving to. Let me get back on thought. Okay, so here's the thing that I think Marx also does a pretty good job of describing capital. So if you've got a thing and I've got a thing, both of us, it's in both of our interests to try to get a good deal if we trade those things, right?
Dylan, shut the fuck up. I'm enjoying this. Bell, continue.
Oh, okay, cool. Dylan, fair, but you've been overruled. My Empress is in charge, so long may they reign. Okay, so I think his description of capitalism is pretty good.
Marxism
I
version
think
of capital is
We
different.
banned him? I just realized that we banned him like 40 minutes ago.
Who?
It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, well,
Foxy, we'll talk about
don't worry about it. Yeah. The Marxian term of capital. It's. I guess I should just let you cook, but I just want to ask, like, is it just the version that I know of capital, where it's not necessarily like like just direct currency? It's like ownership of like companies or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you would invest in.
So I differ
Or
from
stocks.
strict Marxists.
Sure.
I think that Marx has a much broader application than he's currently used. Which is kind of funny because I don't consider myself a Marxist. The people who do think of themselves as Marxists,
Well, you don't have to be a Marxist to adopt the definitions.
So to me, so his idea of capitalism is that it's basically always.
Oh no,
so
I'm
he
sorry.
believed in.
Capital. I didn't want to
I'm
like
sorry.
completely sidetrack you. I thought you were talking about capital. Were you going? You know,
I
I'll
am,
let you
and
cook.
it's
I'll
really.
let you cook. Let's just go back to what you
Yeah.
were saying,
Okay.
and we'll let you cook. Sorry.
So personally, I believe that capitalism is basically when money. I don't really think you can have a currency without having capitalist forces at play. Whether those forces look like modern capitalism or Victorian capitalism, I think capitalism has looked different throughout time. But I think you can very meaningfully interpret all of economics throughout history as an interplay between capitalist and socialist forces, where capitalist forces represent the purchasing power of the individual, and socialist forces represent
I guess
the
the question is
sacrifice of
around
the individual for the
capital.
collective. So, for Marx, capital is basically the idea. Yeah, people. God, people have been like, but feudalism all day long, and I've been like, I think feudalism has got a lot of capitalist tendencies. So I would say for Marx, he divides society into two classes: bourgeois and proletariat. And for him, bourgeois basically does no labor. Proletariat does all the labor.
Like stock owners that don't do fucking dog shit for their company.
Right.
Fucking hate
So, well,
investors.
I understand that there are things in this that you may find appealing that I'm worried about.
No, I said I hate investor. I think that
I know.
investors are. They don't do
So
anything
would
for their
Marx.
company.
I also don't
Yep.
think. I don't think he provides a great alternative. So he thinks that there are people
They don't do that.
who contribute nothing and who make gain and do no work.
Hmm.
There are some of those people. I don't think that there are quite as many as he kind of. I don't know how to describe it. I think he kind of overstates the case. I think there are a few people who do literally no work. I think there are a lot of people who don't do much work, and I think that there are a lot of overpaid people. And I think it's better to keep it as sort of a gradient than it is to keep it as a black and white in the way that he does. So that would be one place where I kind of contest Marx. Does that make sense? Which, for the people who love Marx, I'm not saying he's wrong about everything. I'm just saying that there's space for, like Elon Musk probably makes. I hate Elon Musk, for the record. I think he's a fucking moron.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably made some good decisions in the management of SpaceX, and probably during
Marx
some portion.
would want to kill him. Let's be real here.
Oh, Marx would definitely want him dead, but Marx kind of wants everybody dead but himself. And so the way that Marx talks about for me, this could be a completely, but for me, the way Marx talks about the bourgeoisie rings very similar to the way that Trump talks about the elites. The elites! The bourgeoisie, they're off in their palaces. They don't understand the working man. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's the same shtick.
You don't think Trump's taking that from Marx? Like, because it is a populist ideology, but like he actually means it. Or I think Trump being
I don't think
one
he's
of
taking
them.
it from Marx, but I think they're
Marx
playing on. I think
wasn't
they're playing on very similar
bourgeoisie
trends.
Boy.
Yeah, okay, Sal is completely right. So this is one of the things that's really funny is that Engels fucking bankrolled everything that Marx did, and Engels was a businessman in Germany. And so all of this literally came from a factory owner paying his like hipster friend to write about how they hate the factory owner's like colleagues.
Hey, the rich can they're not inherently evil. They just
Okay, so let me try to finish the point. So Marx has this idea that there's a class of people that has so much wealth that the wealth is now earning its own wealth without any of their involvement.
Okay.
I think that when they have no involvement, they lose it. I think that in actuality, in the real world, the people who have literally no involvement can't hold on to their wealth. I think that it gets fucking swindled from them and taken from them, and
you're
they
saying
lose
that
it
inherently
through bad investments.
happens, or well, I mean, like, I
they can't do no work and stay rich. They got to be doing something, or it's gonna get taken from them by other people who are savvy.
Sure.
Does that make sense? So that's where, like, I don't think he's completely wrong, but I also don't think he's completely right.
I guess can you reiterate that? I guess I don't like. I mean, if he just has like a fucking Scrooge McDuck ass like vault,
then your wealth manager is going to be fleecing you if you're immoral. Like, if you've got a bunch of money and you're really dumb, there are a whole bunch of different industries.
So wait,
I
guess I have to ask: is it inherent to the fact that they are going to always be irresponsible with that level of wealth, like we see with, for example, Elon Musk losing like billions of dollars on, for one, SpaceX, and two, Twitter? Is that kind of where we're at with that?
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. So I think that Marx's conception, and one thing that I think is really important to when considering this, is that he was envisioning a world limited by very different technologies than we have.
Marx.
We can move huge, we can move
Gotcha.
huge amounts of information and wealth in ways that were like inconceivable in his time. And so things like generational wealth were, I think, less vulnerable to things like crypto scams. Like, you could be a trust fund baby and lose it all in crypto in fucking a month.
That's actually an interesting point, where I don't know if this is at all like the way that he talked about it, but like, you know how, like, for example, like, we know monarchies are very stupid because there is no inherent aspect that means that because somebody's lived a life of privilege or whatever, that they for some reason know how to deal with the country.
Totally.
Is it in that same vein where it's just like, yeah, if they have money all of a sudden, like, there's no reason that they actually know how to spend that, like, in any particularly useful way.
So I would say that's the point that I'm making. It's not the point that Marx makes. Marx seems to assume that there is a sort of stationary class of capitalists that is going to be a hereditary wealth class indefinitely that can only be displaced through violence. Whereas I believe that to the extent that we have an aristocracy, it can be eroded through policy, and that things like taxation and social programs can redistribute wealth without having a literal violent revolution. I believe that there should be sort of like I don't think billionaires are good for Earth. It just doesn't seem like a great idea. You're right, Nidnek. I think that generally turning to violence is pretty bad. Also, one of my friends who is pretty sympathetic to communism and recently went to a communist-hosted nonviolence workshop, found out that
wait, I'm sorry. You need to back up. A what?
So I have a friend who I talk to about this shit all the time, who does trans rights activism, who went to a nonviolence workshop hosted by communists, who said that I think it's 4%
Was this like
of violent
a
revolutions.
legally done thing? Were they too violent?
Yeah. No, it was a workshop on how to do nonviolent reform. And those commies gave the stats.
They were too violent, and they had to go.
No. They're in Canada. They're doing trans work, and they're learning how to do it nonviolently. And those nonviolent instructors who are commies, and I don't fucking like commies, said that 4% of violent revolutions ended up in democratic governments, and 40% of nonviolent revolutions end up in democratic governments.
I mean, that seems pretty unreasonable.
So, like, violence probably often ends in authoritarianism, regardless of what ideology is used to kick off the violence.
Yeah, of course, generally.
Once people start raging around, there's no way to translate that directly into like these accelerationist arguments, like we heard in the debate with what's her name, Joy Gray,
Brianna Joy Gray.
And it's like once you just like kick everything over, there's no guarantee that socialism or a good socialist system is going to spring out of the wreckage.
I used to kind of
it
have
could just be a new feudalism system.
Yeah, like, I mean, historically, if you really want to talk about accelerationist, that is more likely to feed into, like, for example, we could even have the example of, like, I'm gonna be really racist right now and not remember what exactly country it is, but the rise of ISIS. Where the idea of having some sort of occupying force is always going to do a rise of some sort of like either religious or nationalistic force, which is not going to be democratic, let's be real here.
Oh, you cut out for a second. What was the thing after force?
Oh, which is not going to be democratic. But
Yeah,
Fox,
I think that's a
I'm
real
hearing, do you want to, I know you haven't spoken for a while, I just want to make sure you're part of this.
Well,
Sorry,
yeah,
Foxy.
I've yeah. Okay, wait, can you guys hear me still?
Yes, you sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I was listening in. I definitely feel like communism, like obviously there have been a lot of people joke about communism like being a failed like economy, but I personally don't feel like it is. I feel like
It
there's a lot of
is.
good communism. It's not a failing economy. Here's the thing. I feel like the authoritarian parts of communism is what caused it to fail. I feel like
True.
the labor camp
But that's baked
caused
into
it
it.
to fail.
That's in
I feel like
communism.
I agree more with the aspects of socialism. I feel like literally like you said, I feel like every economy has to have some
Yeah.
level of capitalism. I feel like
I
there has
fully
been no
agree with socialist principles. I'm
right,
back you on that.
well, cool.
So, yeah. Sorry, am I talking too much? Sorry. Go for it. Keep going.
so like but on paper no economy has 100% been capitalist. No economy on paper has been capitalist. Now there have been economies that have been majority capitalist where the country is capitalist, but not 100%. Even the US, which is the biggest capitalist country in the world, is not 100% capitalist,
Totally.
but
Mhm.
there capitalism mixed with socialism, I think, is the best economy. It's worked very well for countries like Canada. It's worked very well for like other countries like in Europe and stuff. Like it's
I
a great
completely agree.
Yeah, Nordic countries, very happiest
yeah.
countries in the world.
Yeah.
So I feel like having a mix of that is good because then you get the benefits of like, okay, now I
Yeah.
know I'm not because with it's like fully capitalist like the US, basically you don't have free healthcare. So like if you can't pay for healthcare, you have freedoms, but like we're not gonna you have to pay for your healthcare. Now
Yeah.
they will help you like if you're having a heart attack or something, but they'll just give you the stuff you need just to live and then they'll throw you out on the streets. In Canada we actually
Foxy,
have free healthcare
really
where
quick,
it's like
it's she they pronouns, right? Am I correct on that?
I'm sorry, Glitter. I'm she her pronoun.
She her, okay.
No,
I'm correcting chat because
she's asking yours.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mine are they them. My
Oh,
pronouns are they them. I'm also fine with she her, but I prefer they them.
Gotcha.
Sorry, chat was just talking about, so I was trying to make sure you got gendered properly in chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
All right.
Yeah, please keep going. I'm agreeing with you. So Cook, you're rocking.
So yeah, like I was saying, I feel like I feel like if you're like the U.S., like obviously having that system won't work because basically they don't have free healthcare there. In places like Canada, we have free healthcare. So like if you actually have like history of like strokes or heart attacks, like we will actually like your health insurance will pay for it. We will help you. Like if you're having a heart attack, we'll let you stay for the night to make sure you're okay. We're not just gonna throw you out on the street. There's even things like there's better welfare here in the sense that there's better scholarships because and if that wouldn't be possible without socialism. But we still need capitalism in the sense that we still need businesses that are going to or like schooling and like taxpayers that are going to like pay for like schooling for transportation in the city for stuff like that for like the biggest like money source for Canada is transportation. Like most of the money in Canada comes from like transport trucks and stuff. I feel like obviously I do not agree with freedom convoys. I am like strongly against like freedom convoys, but like I'm gonna use this as an example. I don't know if you know, but like last year in my city, we were like bordered across the Ambassador Bridge. You know where the guy fell off, the painter fell off the Ambassador Bridge.
Yeah.
So I'm there. I'm like right across from there. So
Oh man.
there were a lot of Freedom Convoy people at the Ambassador Bridge like last year, and they were like very violent, and that's why there's like a lot of anti-vaxxers where I live, and there's like a lot of anti-maskers but I feel like they were upset because like they were preventing truckers from crossing the border. They had to be vaccinated. They had to wear masks, and I feel like that was messing with the flow of our economy, but at the same time need to be vaccinated for I agree with Trudeau and I agree with a lot of the decisions he makes, but I also feel like um I feel like our economy we can't let our economy fail. You get what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so I think it's important not to let anti-vaxxers take your economy hostage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really think that was
I'm
necessarily what was happening. I think that was just kind of a little bit of a microcosm there. But I understand it was probably very relevant to you because you're so close to it. But yeah, I want to ask, like, if you get sick.
W Dark Cobra. W Dark Cobra.
Sorry?
Dark Cobra's pretty good in general. Dark
Yeah.
Cobra is gonna save Grace. Dark Cobra, have you saved Grace yet?
I want to know, like, in Canada, how does it work? Like, how much do we want to make the Americans jealous here? If you get sick, you think, I don't know, you break your arm, what do you do?
If you break your arm, in Canada, you would definitely go to the ER,
Okay. Do you take
immediately.
an ambulance there, or do you drive?
It depends. You know, if your other arm's still working, you could drive it. No, I'm kidding. I feel like you would call an ambulance, but if there's
Okay,
people
but
around, you
do
could
you
just
have
drive to
to
the hospital.
pay for the ambulance?
Is that a $1,500 bill?
Yeah, is that
Yeah, I'm actually not sure about that actually because I feel like if it's an emergency, I don't feel like they would charge you, but if it's not like if it's like a broken arm or something, they might charge you. Because the thing is if your arm's broken, theoretically someone else could just drive you to the hospital. But like if it's like something severe like you're having a stroke or a heart attack or like there's like you're having like
Okay,
you're in
so you're having a
cardiac
stroke or a
arrest.
heart attack. Do you have to pay for the 911 call? Like, if you're not sure what's happening to you, you think you might be having a stroke and or a heart attack, and they come to pick you up, are you going to be on the hook for that?
I don't know, I don't think so. I
You
don't think you have
you
to pay for it in Canada.
motherfuckers. So jealous. Okay, so you get to the hospital, right? Um, how does that go? Like, the detractors will say you have to wait in line for like days. Like, have you ever had a situation where you had to go to the like emergency room or whatever? Oh shit, he's in the emergency room. Or they, sorry.
Foxy!
Fox, come back! They're flabbergasted at how fucked our United States healthcare system is. We'll wait for them to load. I guess maybe their internet's dog shit, I don't know. Um, Foxy will come back. We believe in them. But I really want. Oh,
Hello, Nita, can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you. You sound fantastic.
How dare you make fun of my internet? I had Bell Fiber Wi-Fi, you know?
I'm just trying to cope, okay? We don't have healthcare here. So if you go to a hospital, like imagine something happens to you, you have to go to the hospital. What is your bill gonna look like?
I would say it's like $45, like for ambulance.
Stop!
Like I think you saw.
Stop! Stop!
Fucking jealous.
Are you fucking
You
serious?
should just, you should just take one for the fun of it.
Okay, so
I mean, this is cheaper than Uber.
It is though. That's literally cheaper than an Uber.
Hold on, you're gonna give me a heart attack, and then it's gonna cost me like $45,000. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Continue.
We need socialism. We fucking need socialism.
You're gonna kill both.
We need to raise
there.
taxes. We gotta raise fucking
I guess
taxes
that's a
on the
good
rich.
question. How much do the Canadians pay in taxes? Oh, we lost Foxy. They're spending their $45 Uber just to get like their blood pressure checked or something.
Wait, do you see what Dylan said in chat? I saw a Canada v America hockey match, and the Canadian team on the goal chanted, "Who has health care?" That's so brutal.
That's pretty. I mean, not wrong. You know what?
No, that's great. That's
All of
great.
our
But that's so brutal.
allies, all of our allies to the north, y'all should shit on America for not having healthcare. Like, just
shame us, shame
the
American
shit out of
conservatives
us.
into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like fully, like it's embarrassing. Every developed nation has it. Fucking.
Because we can't stand being shit on by
Alright, I'm
Canada.
back.
Oh, you're back.
Alright, I'm back.
Did you take your $45 trip to the ER?
Yeah, I ordered Uber Eats, Nina. I ordered
From the ER. You
Yeah,
know,
anyways, I think
in the United States, that shit would cost probably like almost like 20 grand. Anywhere between 2,000 to like 20 grand, depending.
And we're talking about Uber. No, that's not even the ambulance.
Stop. Can we lose them?
I have tremendous patience for this because it happens to me half the time.
I just want to know about the Canadian lifestyle that I'm not gonna have. I'm gonna recruit another Canadian.
I might do a hormone blocker, and it might be covered by
your mic
Medicare. It's exciting. It's a rare American healthcare win.
Whenever I switch tabs, my mic just like cuts out. So wait. So you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
Correct. I can hear you. I'm getting more spiteful about their fucking free ass healthcare.
We gotta get some shit taken care of,
I
Nina.
know.
We need to get stuff passed.
You know what? I'll take my
It's
prime minister doing blackface for the shit that they got.
Healthcare? I'll take trans face. Yeah, that's fine. They can use.
What is
They can use a T word for. I don't know. They
like-
can use the T word for a year if they give us healthcare. I give that blessing to any president who grants us healthcare. They shouldn't, but I'd make the deal. That'd be fine.
So I just looked it up, and I think it's like if you make $30,000 like a year, which is kind of like the basic just to like get by. Like I feel like you would have to pay like $4,000 a year in taxes. So that's like $4,000 to $5,000 in taxes.
And that's
a year.
probably
And then-
your from your income, so it's not like extended income.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have legal
like
weed in
smart
Canada? This is very important. Do you have legal weed?
Yeah. Like if it was like 15 grand, like which is like the starting point of like when you have to start paying taxes, I would say you would have to like pay around like maybe $1,000 to $2,000 a year in taxes. It all depends on how much you make a year.
That's like less
and then
than
they
us, right?
Yeah, that's significantly less. Wait, did they
That's, like,
wait?
way
Did they
less
take
than
it?
us.
Wait,
What do you tax your rich or something? What's going on in Canada?
You know what's crazy? Most countries don't make you do your own fucking taxes. They just do it for you.
That makes sense.
they do. Like, and the other thing is like
Does that too? All right, we're moving to Canada.
yeah.
I'm not ruling it out. I'm not gonna rule it out. It seems pretty cool up there.
You're really selling me on this, Foxy. Now they tabbed out to something else. I feel like that's where the America hate like meme comes from, like making fun of like Canadians. It's because let's be real, we know
It's insecurity.
we
It's insecurity.
know that they have it
It's
better
definitely
there.
insecurity.
We know.
100%. That's what's up. But like honestly though, yeah, like I do think that one thing that's interesting is Foxy, you back?
I think whenever I switch tabs, I just like mute. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I was gonna make a point about I was gonna move towards like you know what supply and demand is, right? I know supply and demand is basically like
Mm-hmm.
if the supply of something is higher than the demand, the price goes down. If the demand of something is higher than the supply rate, the price goes up, right? That's basically like inflation, right?
Wait, that's impossible because value is all determined by labor, unless Marx is wrong about some things.
Well, no,
Oh shit, Marx might be wrong about some things. Now keep going.
I mean, well, he's not. He's not really, because the laborers are the ones that like make the product, right? So like the laborers, like, so if they're making
Yeah,
the
but
supply.
scarcity also clearly contributes to exchange value, and that's not
let
something
them
that's considered
So here's
wrong.
the thing. So like, if the supply rate is up, that means that the labor workers are putting in the work to make the supplies, and the demand for it is less though. So that means the price would go down, because that means no one's buying the product. But like labor workers would still have to get paid for the job they did, but none of the money's coming in from like consumers. So, you know, that's where you get into like.
I think I don't really understand exactly what you're saying, but I will counter you. I don't know if this directly relates to it, but if you pay your workers a decent wage, they are also people who are going to be consuming said product. I don't know what like hypothetical situation we're doing with, but like if you pay your workers a wage where they're able to consume said product, then obviously that's like a net benefit. Not sure if that was the exact
Not sure I understood
situation.
that, but I'll back it just for funsies. That sounds good.
I think I was not really quite sure what we were talking about, if I'm being honest. Also keeps tabbing out on, like, I think he's or they're betraying us on watching other streams. I mean, to be fair, that is to some extent accurate.
Right now? Foxy, are you watching other people while you're in the middle
are you
of a
cheating on
conversation?
us? We're feeling a little.
Do you have other streams, Foxy? You have to tell us if you have other streams.
No, I'm not. Actually, speaking of other things though, I watch another. This is where I wanted to get into the topic of this. Is you know who Amy is, right? Amy C3. You know, she talks about like housing. Amy.
I don't know.
Amy,
This is a streamer or a YouTube person?
streamer, Twitch streamer.
Just Amy AMY.
Yeah, Amy, AMYE. C3.
Oh, see, wait.
I don't know if you, I wasn't. I usually watch her, and she talks a lot about like free housing and like public housing and like. Because I personally believe in public housing. I'm a kind of an advocate for that.
I'm
I
on
don't
YouTube.
feel like housing. It's on Twitch.
Yeah, I know. I'm being a dumbass. I was like on YouTube. I was like, why can't I find this person?
Anyways, they were talking about supply and demand, and so what my thing was is that like how we could kind of get gas price. So like basically, you know how gas is bad for the environment. Obviously, fossil fuels are bad for the environment, and I feel like fossil fuels are gonna be gone by the 2050s. They're not a renewable source. They're gonna be gone by the 2050s for sure. Like, they're not gonna last forever. However, are you? Oh, you're on their stream. Okay.
I'm not really talking, so I don't really. She's very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean to derail you. Go ahead.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I thought you knew about Amy. No, because like, all the streamers that I watch are like all from my like, I like are all like kind of.
We'll be
Yeah,
best
because
friends.
I watch. Yeah, I watch left. I watch like mainly like left wing content.
Look, Foxy, we're
content,
growing. You can't judge us for not knowing everybody yet. Come on.
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Yeah. I do. I mainly watch left wing content creators. Like I kind of assume that they're all kind of just like a community. I try and stay away from right wing content creators, but like it is inevitable to come across like the right wing leaning person, like we came across here, which I thought wasn't possible, but it is possible that like someone like who is like I don't know the word for it, but someone who is like
Kind of
like
shitty.
yeah, like who's like I feel like there are even people who are like us who are like very pro LGBT rights and stuff who can be conservative. Like if you look at people like Blair White, she's trans and she's conservative. If you look at people like there are like gay people who are conservative. I just feel like it doesn't make a
I
lot of
used to
sense.
fundraise for Amnesty International
Yeah.
in public spaces.
Yeah.
And one thing I found is that whether
I
someone was
asked her if
gay
she
or
wants
not
to be best friend.
was not a clear indicator of whether or not they supported human rights. And that my experience with our queer community was that it basically, unfortunately, like the American public, broke into two factions. And there was a faction that was as disinterested about alleviating global suffering as your standard conservatives. And the fact that they were queer had nothing to do with that for them. It's a huge bummer, but it's a very real thing. And so I have pretty limited patience when I, when I encounter somebody who seems to be using their status as an oppressed minority as justification to get away with like participating in harassment of that same minority.
Litterbell, I'm blowing up.
What happened?
What did she
I
say?
just
Did
said
she
I
respond?
wanna be best friend. She didn't respond at all.
Oh my god, you got cold shouldered. You're not cool enough.
I'm blowing it right now.
You just got iced out. What are you doing? Nina, you gotta stay cool. What are you doing?
You know I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna turn that off and move on. Go ahead.
There we go. There we go. Saving phase. Program is saving phase. This is the
I can't
saving
believe
phase
my
podcast.
I want to be best friends line didn't work.
Yeah, Mark, young black economist follows her, and like another. That's how I found out about black economists. Young black economists. Yeah.
That's not black clack bond conservative, is it? That kid.
It is just
You'll see like a lot of people. Nina, you know who YBE is, right? Who that is?
No.
Young black economists.
I see that they're linked there with 1.2k followers. Is that who we're referring to?
Yes. Do you know who that is?
I have not no.
Oh.
Most people that I come across that I know about are people that go I assume she doesn't do debates
Okay, do you know Simp Daddy? You know that guy, the troll that's usually in chats?
Who?
Simp Daddy. You know the troll? The avocado was talking about him or them. I'm not sure but like he was also in her chat as well.
Help me out here.
Yeah.
He was banned here apparently. I don't know, do they suck? Or are they cool? Like, what level are we at? She doesn't want to be best friends, so I hate Amy. I'm obviously joking, but...
I don't remember the person you're talking about. Who's this? Sim something?
Well, Soy says they got banned. He was simping. Oh, Wait. So, are you making a joke? I don't know who we're referring to. They're probably Canadian, Glitter.
I've banned a lot of people. I'm looking through our ban list. Whatever, no regrets. It happens.
Hey, I used to be like a no ban, kind of free speech absolutist, and I realized I was fucking stupid because it just like completely shits on my own community. Because it like forces people to have to deal with the people in my community who care to have to deal with like a bunch of bullshit.
It's amazing. I've learned so much since I started modding that just blows my mind. Like in general, chat, if you ever go to another streamer, don't go all caps in your first 15 messages. Because if their mod clicks on your name and it's nothing and then you yelling, you're probably going to get banned or timed out.
It is fun
That's just
arguing with the bullshitters, for sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Definitely. No, it's okay. It's just a thing.
But yeah, don't do all caps and that type of shit.
Like, it's an easy way an easy way to. Also, if you say something in a
Don't say
space
you're
that
Canadian,
gets you
too.
booted, and you decide you're gonna DM one of the mods, which is a risky move, don't fucking yell at them, because that's not gonna win them back over. Be like, yo, I'm sorry, I accidentally crossed a line. I appreciate this community. I'd like back in. That's the password.
Yeah, I feel
Just
so
putting that
bad
information out
y'all
there.
gotta deal with that type of shit. Like, cause the funny thing is, that was like, me? Like, it was just like me. Like, I mean, also leak their DMs. As long as it's not private information, it's kind of funny to see how psychotic people can be.
It does blow my mind. Like sometimes somebody will say something, I'll be like, oh, that sounds pretty annoying. I feel like they're just gonna keep trolling. I'm not in it tonight, and I'll do something. I'll either ban them or timeout. And then they'll send me like 6 insane messages, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely like,
Yeah, no.
that did not change my perspective, you know.
The messages that I've had throughout the years are so fucking funny. I have them turned off now, but some parts of me wants to leave them left on, but
I'm not on screen, so I feel like it doesn't bother me to read them. I think if I were on screen, I'd be more sensitive to it. I'm a softie, whatever. It's true.
oh, you're not.
But right now, I just think they're mostly funny.
I guess you're not the main ire, right? Of whose
Yeah.
ever grievance it is.
Yeah, I feel like I get some. I appreciate you tanking everything. You're badass.
Well, I feel like you're tanking for me too.
It's a reciprocal relation. It's a good community.
Yeah. Our Canadian back. Foxy.
Foxy back.
Their internet's dog shit. They have healthcare, but they don't have internet. Apparently,
got timed out early in their thing. Was that?
Who?
SNG Mark, one of our chatters, got timed out for taking a stance that you support just because I was in a bad mood, and I stand by that. Mark, I don't back down by that decision.
Oh, you know what you're into when you're here. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Does
Say
he
any
know
slurs, Glitter or Foxy.
Gorpsync. So Gorpsync, you banned him, right, Glitter?
Let's
so
not talk
he's
about this
banned-
publicly. We can talk about this off camera, but I don't want to.
Oh yeah, okay. We'll wait till stream ends. Sorry about that. Okay.
No worries.
Anyways, so yeah, I actually kind of agree because I feel like authoritarian I'm gonna move back to like communism because I feel like we got a bit sidetracked. But
Sure.
I was gonna mention that I do feel like authoritarian communism is kind of slightly unconstructive because any type of like extremism. I feel like it just kind of forces people to work in labor unions, like labor camps. Like if you look at communism throughout like the 20th century, people
It's
were
gone
forced to
bad
work in
over and over again. Like, yeah. Oh, are you there? Did you cut out again?
So yeah, I'm more of a socialist, but
I got no problem. Yeah, I back that.
and like you said, you don't have a problem with socialism. I was just wondering, like, because you think that a lot of things that Karl Marx said is wrong, or do you disagree with him on a lot of the things that he says?
That's probably an overstatement. I would say I agree with him on a lot of things that he says. I also don't think that he's like I don't think that his theory is like I don't think he's solved sociology and economics in 1840 or whatever.
Yeah.
I really think that
that's a good quote. Karl Marx. How old is that?
SGN Mark has a great point here that communism has no safety nets. I think that's a really keen observation. Is that if bad leadership gets in control of the state in a communist society, there isn't distributed power. No. But there isn't distributed power in the public that can counteract the government's bad decision. And I think it's really good to have power spread around into the public in ways that allow it to offer a check and balance against the government itself, which is yeah.
You talking about communism?
I also think that Yeah, we're talking about Foxy asked more about communism.
Gotcha.
I also think if you look at like the original Communist Manifesto, there's a lot of stuff in it that's like dog whistly, and there's some stuff in it that's just bad ideas. There's some stuff in it that's outdated, and I think because it's kind of been adopted as a dogma, it hasn't really the idea of a communist political movement hasn't.
Well, that's why I think it's always like the biggest red flag if somebody says like if their entire ideology is just centered on, like you're saying, completely outdated manifesto. There is some good ideas, of course, but like a lot of it does not track. And
so like here's the first line of the Communist Manifesto, all right? A specter is haunting Europe, the specter of communism. All the powers of old Europe have entered into a holy alliance to exorcise this specter. Pope and Tsar, Metternich and Gutzot, French radicals, and German police spies.
Then like Tim or
that is a
Tucker
dark
Carlson.
fucking opening line. Yeah, like holy Christ, is that Alex Jonesy? You know what I mean? Like that's not really.
I mean, it's rhetorically interesting, so I understand.
Marx is a good writer,
right.
But like I think that he appeals to people's darker tendencies pretty frequently, and that's one of my like main issues with him. Where I think that his descriptions of like the origin of value are pretty good, and how capitalism works, I think it's pretty good, pretty interesting. But his conclusions about what to do about it are like pretty worrisome to me, if that makes sense. And I also think that every time that his policies have been acted on as closely as they've been understood, it's gone to shit pretty fast.
Yeah, well,
I think
it wasn't like his main like magnus opus by any means. Like he.
His main
the man would not stop writing. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Is people today in the conversation I'm having today, somebody was like, "It's crazy that Marx wrote so much and is still misunderstood." And I'm like, he wrote thousands of words.
Yeah, the man
thousands of pages.
Was
like
very
thousands
bored.
and thousands of pages. Yeah, there's no concise way to. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate this like religious. I don't know if this is if this is even a term, but religification. I'm coining it, whatever. Of like.
I think it's very. Yeah, I don't know if this term. I think you're absolutely right.
Marxist values and stuff like that, like the Leninist Marxists or whatever, where they think like, oh, these people are deities, and we should just take everything. Yeah. Like we're not going to understand the context of when it was written. We're not going to understand that like their ideology has changed throughout the years. Like we're not going to take any of that. We're just going to, because they said it and they are a figurehead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what bothers me. Okay, for absolutely 100%. Okay, for people following along at home, if you open up the Communist Manifesto and you go to I guess it's, let me find this here. I had it just a second ago.
It's Mark's chapter. Well, how they do the Bible, chapter 2, verse 8, or
unironically, that's how it feels. Yeah, chapter 2, proletarians and communists. If you go to the fucking bottom of that, there are 10 points that he lays out. So here is his thing. So of course, in the beginning, this cannot be effected except by means of okay, so let me find this. Okay. The communist revolution is the most radical rupture with traditional property relations. No wonder that its development involved the most radical rupture with traditional ideas. Let us have done with the bourgeoisie, let us have done with the bourgeoisie objections to communism.
It's kind of written like the Bible too. I assume that was
It absolutely is. He's absolutely drawing on that. Yeah. Okay, as we've seen above, the first step in the revolution by the working class is to raise the proletariat to the position of the ruling class to win the battle of democracy. The proletariat will use its supremacy to wrest by degree all capital from the bourgeoisie, to centralize all instruments of production in the hands of the state, i.e. the proletariat organized as the ruling class, and increase the total productive forces as rapidly as possible. Of course, in the beginning, this cannot be effected except by means of despotic inroads. That's bad. That's bad. You shouldn't say the only way to do this is by being bad guys. That's what that means. I don't like that. On the rights of property and on the conditions of bourgeois production by means of measures, therefore, with which appear economically insufficient, untenable, but which, of course, of the movement outstrips themselves, necessitate further inroads in the old social order and are unavoidable means of entirely revolutionizing. Yada yada, we're gonna win. Okay. Here are his 10 things.
I mean, I think that he is very aggressive when he has his rhetoric. It does sound like I think that, like, of course we should understand the difference between, like, obviously people who, like, you know, Maoist Leninist, you know, are hyper Marxist, you know, the people who think about it like religion,
Okay,
right? But like,
here's 10 actual things though, right? Yeah.
I think that I know that you're like hyper anti-violence, where I'm not necessarily at that point, where I think that revolution, I don't think we're like in our current form, like in like the United States, we're not at that level. I think a lot of people like to LARP like we're at that level. We're not. But
I think a lot of people like to LARP right that level, we're not. I agree with that.
Yeah, but like,
well, let's look at these 10 things. Let's put the violence aside. I see where you're coming from. I agree with this critique, but let's just look at these 10 things, right?
Okay.
Because these are like 10 actual communists.
All right, wait, hold on.
Okay. One. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring. Never mind. Whatever. I have fingers. Which one I'm gonna see how many I agree with.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
1. Abolition of property in land and application of all rents of land to public purpose. So you still have to pay rent. The government is your landlord.
Okay, that part I did. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like if it's saying that public housing is public, then that means that it's owned by the government. So why would you pay something that's already owned?
Isn't that
so, like,
fascinating? Kind of weird, right?
Well, I
thought that was
you
weird
just keep
too.
paying for the upkeep of said property, and it would actually be like reasonably stated.
Here's the thing. This is where I don't get why capitalists think it's their way. Because who genuinely wants to own their own property? Who's like, yes, I want to own my own business and have to pay taxes and buy product to sell to my
A
business.
lot of people.
And,
It's
know,
how yeah, I think that land ownership is
All right,
pretty
Fox, you gotta put a
important.
finger up if you. Okay, I think I can wrap my head around agreeing with this. Yes or no, Foxy?
So you have no rights to your own property. At any point, you can be evicted. The government technically owns it. You definitely have to pay the government
Okay, but
rent.
we're coming under the idea that we're. Go ahead.
It depends who the leader is. Like if we're working under Maoism, okay, if we're working under Maoism or we're working under like maybe Leninism, then I might not want that because if they can easily take away your property.
Well, some of your leaders will be sociopaths because that's the thing that sociopaths are drawn to is political power.
Let them cook.
Yeah.
Okay. So like basically like I would probably not want to work in like a in a camp or something because they back in that time frame, like even now, like you're gonna be like say if Nate like Mayo or in like Mao, say Mao and Joseph Stalin's friend, he was also in the Soviet Union. He was kind of like discovered Leninism. He kind of like invented Leninism. What's his name? Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Just to keep us on track. I'm sorry. I just want to keep on the.
Let's get to the Communist Manifesto before we find a different branch of communism to break down.
I understand you.
I can look into it though.
While you're looking into that, but let's like stay focused. Would you want to agree with what Glitter Bell said with the manifesto?
I wouldn't. If it was under Maoism, then no, I wouldn't because, like he said, a lot of them would probably take away your property, and then you're
okay.
fucked.
Okay,
so, no,
you'll say no. Sure. I would
I'm
say.
I think
I would be okay with that as a concept, but I agree that it might be complicated. So I would say yes as a concept.
2, a heavy progressive or graduated income tax. I think this is a great idea. I've got no problem with it.
Absolutely. I love progressive taxes.
Yeah, fine. No problem. That's great.
Foxy?
I agree with that, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I
3,
agree with that,
abolition of all rights of inheritance. How do you feel about that?
Ooh, I would say heavy
That's a
taxing.
difficult one.
I would say heavy taxing, but I don't think that it should be completely abolished. So would I say no then?
I mean, I'm about there. I think that like it's mostly a good idea, but I think that like heirlooms are the type of thing you want to be able to pass down. That
I
doesn't seem
think
too
like
crazy.
I think it would be taxing.
I think that like there's probably some argument that like if you have like a like there's people in Greece whose family have lived on the same island for 1,000 years. Like
I think
that may be fine.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think
But-
I would go up to like a level of like maybe past like a certain amount of like financial value.
I'm
Like
for
if-
substantial estate taxes. I think
yeah,
that
like,
it makes a
like,
lot of sense.
over like I don't know,
Yeah.
like $2 million or something like that. Like absolutely tax or like they don't get anything besides that.
Yeah, I think I'm so like I think that's a pretty good idea. I don't have a big problem with that.
Foxy?
Okay. 4.
Well,
Yeah, Foxy. Sorry. Sorry.
Here's the thing. Here's like, because I don't want to get distracted. I want you to finish your list first, Glitter.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
sure,
like there
just real
is.
quick.
I feel like there is a part of communism that will work 100%, and I feel like it's Leninism. The only thing that there are things that I disagree with it because, like I said, not every.
No, what's
type
your
of
opinion on
economy
the
works
inheritance aspect? I know we can get
What's
back
your
to
opinion- yeah, what's your
we
opinion on-
absolutely can get back
Okay,
to that,
sure.
but I just want you to have your input on that.
I feel like everything, like I said, I feel like the government's gonna own a lot of things, like a lot of like property, but I feel like inheriting things, like your property, like things that you own, like objects, you mean, like inheritance, like money.
I mean,
I
yeah,
guess-
it'd probably be
Yeah,
like
well, that
capital,
so that
property,
your family owns
all
that you would inherit or
right, like if
you
your
would pass
parents owned like a house or whatever, should that should you be able to have that or whatever?
Inherit that house. Well, I feel like no, because I feel like then that just goes against, because that just goes against freedom of speech. That basically just goes against like land ownership, because basically that's just saying that just because
Oh,
the
you're more
family owned that
radical.
house. And
I mean, no, I mean
Is that bad?
you're agreeing with basically our position, but like you're just a little bit more radical. I'm interested in your thoughts. Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
well, yeah.
Let's
I just
keep
feel
it
like
real.
it just goes against. Yeah,
Sorry, let's
yeah. So I would agree.
Okay, let's keep it rolling.
Okay, so we agree with that. Okay. So 4. There's only 10, so we're moving through it. Confiscation of the property of all emigrants and rebels. So any property that you own, and I know most people say that communism is like no property. In the Communist Manifesto, it is assumed that you will have property, and that if you ever leave the country, you will lose all of it. If you rebel against the country, you will lose all of it. Yes, emigration, not immigration, emigration.
So if you leave the country, you have to give up everything that you have. I disagree with that.
I think this sounds fucking crazy.
To be fair, I have anarchist values.
It sounds totally.
Where I don't think that we should have borders, but as long as we do, that sounds insane.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like,
Foxy?
Here's the thing, Nina. I feel like borders and sites, because we do need a physical border in order to cross. Like,
No, absolutely.
Like, where
but
I
I'm
live,
just
like, there's the yeah.
But do you think that if like
but where they don't have to check for your ID and stuff, I agree with that. Like, I don't think they should check
the
for
question
your ID,
is,
but
do
I
you
feel
think
like-
that if you leave your country, do you think that you should give up all of your property?
if you leave your country?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if it's just momentarily, like you're just going on a vacation or something, no. I
no,
don't
if you
think,
move
like-
to another country,
Yeah,
you
no,
have to go to
you would
zero.
have
That's the question.
citizenship. I think generally it's kind of like the blanket way you say it. So if you were to move to another country, do you think that you should be legally obligated to give up all of your property that you gained within said country?
Well, I would say yeah to some extent, because that's basically the
Really?
land owned by the government.
So if you
I
leave
feel-
Canada, you should have nothing, is what you're saying.
I mean, like
You should be- you
clothes.
should have
and
$0.
shit.
I feel like you still have like your material objects and stuff, like the things that you bought.
That's
and
not what
stuff,
this
the
is
things that
saying.
you-
Wait, I guess maybe
This is
like okay.
saying
So would you say like
confiscation
if
of-
you own a house and like maybe you're wealthy enough to be able to like move into another country, but you're planning to obviously come back just because it's like a family property, whatever. I don't know. Do you think that they should be obligated to give that up to, like, I guess the government would be how Glitterbill, is that what that's implying, that you give it up to the government?
The implication is that all of your property, anything that is property, which I'm assuming is a
Also, everything.
combination
Then
of.
no, because that's like all of your stuff. I would say no because that's
Yeah,
like,
I think so. I think it's crazy.
So we're on the same page with that. Okay.
Yeah, we're on the same page on that one. Okay. 5. Centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank with the state and an exclusive monopoly.
Okay, well, if they're excluding monopoly, then that's an automatic yes. I feel like monopoly's bad.
No,
I feel like it's-
and an exclusive monopoly. So the state is an exclusive
So
monopoly.
you're only
on
banking
all
with
banking.
the.
Correct. The only bank is the state.
Well, that would be even
No,
better
that's
because
ridiculous.
then there's no bias. But then there's no bias, right? Because then it's the
I mean,
state
I
because no
agree
one would
that
know.
we should.
What do you mean? There's other states. There's no. This doesn't mean that you've conquered Earth. This just means
That's
in
the
your
thing.
state.
No. Here's the thing, because if it's run by the state, then they don't. There's no bias. There's like no judging. Because like
Okay,
if it's like in a town or something, then like and it's like a bank in that town, then they know you and they know who you are because you go to that bank regularly. If it's just by the state, they just.
Oh, you're saying
they
bias against the
probably won't
individual.
remember you. Yeah, exactly. So I would
I
probably
don't-
agree with that.
I
It's
guess
a
maybe
monopoly.
we're not all on the same page with this. I thought it meant that like kind of a you know how there's like private banks? Like I think the private
Yeah.
banks are dog shit. I think that all banks should be socialized. Where it is part of the government to do that type of thing. I know people are like, oh, you don't trust the government. Like, okay. But like let's be real here. Do you think that you want to really trust the private firms? So that's
think that
where
the private
I'm at.
firms
Is
in
that what the
competition
question's
are-
related to?
So yeah, so I think that I believe that the private firms in competition are probably more stable than a
You
single
think
state
the
bank.
private firms are more stable than the United States economy?
So one of the things that state banks can do, and I don't know, this is an area where I absolutely need to research more because I don't know enough
Okay,
about
fair
this.
enough.
But I think that that state banks like China's can artificially manipulate currency in ways that are really problematic, and that can be really tough. I don't know enough about it.
Okay,
though.
but you don't think like a bank backed by the entire United States GDP is going to be less stable?
I think that a system that has a single failure point is probably more vulnerable than a system that has multiple counterbalances.
Okay,
Like
yes, you agree.
I don't know
with
if
me.
I'm explaining that right.
Well, like the United States like government is not going to fail
Here's the
like
thing.
on
So
one
with a
like
monopoly-
bad
So
investment.
like
Go on.
Glitter, you mentioned monopoly, right? Excluding monopoly. So basically,
No, no.
monopoly's
An exclusive monopoly. The Communist Manifesto calls for a national bank with state capital and an exclusive monopoly. So the state bank is the exclusive monopoly for all loans, credit, trading.
Okay, I guess now that you say that, I don't love the exclusive, but I do like the nationalization of banks.
So one of the things that concerns me with this.
I agree with
Okay.
nationalization of banks as well. I feel like they should be national. I agree with that.
What if the state decides that it's not going to give loans to gay people?
That's an issue. I feel like it really depends on
Well,
the
that's like a
dictator
social issue. I think that's more likely to be an
Because
issue.
here's the
Communist countries have almost all been anti-LGBT.
Because any private company could choose to do that. Like, there's no difference
But
between
if
that and
they
a
do that-
socialite.
Well, wait. But the difference is that if a private company chooses to do that, another private company could choose to pursue those queer customers.
You could say the same thing would happen with another competitor of whichever.
There's no competitor here. This is an exclusive monopoly. That's the
No,
point.
but like if you're talking
No, it's
about
just
who has the power
monopolies can
in.
become competitive with Twitter because like monopolies they are a system that runs under capitalism. Capitalism leads to monopoly basically because
But
you
this is
know-
a post-cap. This is a non-cap. This is the idea here is that we're creating a communist system, and in doing that, we are removing competition by creating a single banking monopoly. So all loans, as I understand
no,
it,
if it's socialism, you still have the option to have private banks. You just have one that's more stable.
no, here you don't. This is the Communist Manifesto. It's very clear that you don't have that option.
Okay, but are we
Num-
focusing on that aspect, or are we focusing on the socialist
Yeah.
bank aspect?
Here, I think we're talking about like, do we like the Communist Manifesto? There's socialist ideas that we like.
Yeah, but it was like.
I'm trying to say.
Wait,
do we-
reread it.
Okay. So, point 5. Centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of
Mhm.
a national bank with state capital and an exclusive monopoly.
Okay, I
I may
agree.
not understand this point fully. So again,
I don't love
keeping.
the idea of exclusive. I love everything else about it, but I don't love the exclusive part.
I agree with that. This seems like it should be a good idea, but the exclusive monopoly thing has me super fucking worried.
Yeah, I don't
So
like the monopoly
I want to
part.
just be like, great, but that I'm like, oh man, is that great? I don't know. That sounds like a lot.
I think that you should be able to do a like I would love to invest in a bank that is like state related, you know? I don't have that option now in the United States.
I like state backed.
Yeah,
I mean, we have
exactly.
state-backed
Yes,
securities.
exactly.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, like I want something that is backed by the state, not some like
That's
assholes.
not communist. That's like, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
What would that be? That would be a public protection in a capitalist system, I think. Okay, let's do 6.
Okay.
Some of these I thought were good, and I thought about them, and I was like, I
I'm
don't think
like
this is good. This is kind
3.5,
of one of
so
those.
I don't know, we'll say like 4, whatever.
Yeah, right. Central, and again, two of these are I'm completely on board with. These are not all bad ideas. I just think some of these are.
Yeah,
bad
of course,
ideas. Okay.
let's give it.
So
Centralization.
I feel like I agree with
sorry, yeah.
what you said. I feel like I disagree with the exclusion of monopoly because I kind of see what you're saying with the monopolies because like I feel like it is excluding competition. Monopolies do exclude competition, and I think that's good because I don't think there should be competitiveness when it comes to selling product because I just think that it's under capitalism, like it's all about being competitive. It's all about having rivals.
I think you might have
know.
misspoke. You think that monopolies are good or bad?
I feel like it really depends. If it's under
A monopoly
communism,
destroys competition. A lack of a monopoly
Yes,
allows for
that's
competition.
And you
Typically
like
under
that.
a monopoly.
Yeah,
Typically
I
under
like
a monopoly.
that there's competition because
Without
competition is
competition,
bad, especially when it comes to
consumers are
businesses,
at the
because
mercy of the monopoly.
Hold on. Let them cook. I just want to make sure, like,
wait,
because I don't like the lack thereof with competition, but I don't like monopolies. So I think I do like socialized, like where the government does have a lot of power, but I don't want them to not be able to be competitive in the private sector.
Yeah,
Foxy, do you agree with me on that? I'm just not sure your position.
We don't
I
have
agree with
agreements.
you on that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Typically, once a company has a monopoly, then they can raise prices infinitely because there's no alternative. So that's one of the things that's just like always like.
Yeah, so we don't like monopolies.
That's why we have monopoly breaking in the U.S. That's why we have antitrust laws.
Yeah, I wish we would actually use them. Of course.
Oh, God, right? We might use them against Google, which would be fucking crazy. Okay, 6. Centralization of the means of communication and transport in the hands of the state.
Repeat that?
This is what I had to think about a lot. Centralization of the means of communication and transport in the hands of the state.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think that's great. That's like postage and like communicate like the internet. I think the internet should absolutely be.
I agree with that as well.
Absolutely should be socialized. Yeah.
Let me challenge that. Okay.
I
think that a minimum level of services should probably be provided by the state.
Like what? Like
as
20
before,
upload or what?
I'm super concerned about the state being able to turn off people's ability to communicate or move.
But private companies have
because.
I'll let you cook.
But this. Okay, so just because something exists in an imperfect form presently doesn't mean it couldn't be worse.
Oh,
so
stop.
No, no. Okay. I think that the idea that the state, I think that providing a minimum, so I definitely think there should be more state provided transportation. And I also think that there should be like a minimum.
I think, wait, hold on. I think we should
version of Starlink that gets everybody at minimum internet access, like at an available way.
Maybe we should do this.
I don't know that I like the idea.
You're saying
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know. I thought I didn't mean to do that. I thought you were gonna go into talking about like transportation, which I thought was a completely different conversation. But I thought we were talking about like internet. So I kind of want to focus on that. So you lagged a little bit. So I'll go ahead.
Sure. We can go back. Okay, the state should provide great trains. I fully believe in that. I also think it's probably good for us to have a transportation network that isn't fully state controlled. And I feel
agree. Okay,
basically the
so like,
same about communication.
I actually think that that's probably a good idea because I feel like state trade is more like trade within the state, right? So like you can trade within like your area, I guess. But like if we're talking about international trade, then like wouldn't that mean like
Well, we're not
trade
talking about trade right now. We're talking about trains.
trains? Okay, well here's the thing. I feel like with trains it really depends because trains are bad for the environment. They emit like in Canada like the trains here they emit diesel fuel and diesel fuel is really bad for the environment. I feel like now I'm gonna get into like in the environment and stuff, and I feel like
We don't have to get
trains
into
are
that.
like a
Just
bad way.
let's stay focused.
Well, okay. Yeah. This is just like, should the state should communication and transportation be centralized under the state, which means that it provides for and has control over both of those things.
Yes. In my opinion.
Yes.
Like if we're talking about
So would
like
you
should we
prefer-
nationalize the railroads? Yes.
Okay, should we nationalize Twitch? Should the
Well, here's the
Republicans
thing.
have control of Twitch?
We're
Well,
not
here's
talking
the
about
thing.
Twitch.
You know, that's bad for the environment.
That's
That's
communication.
bad for the environment, though.
No, we would be doing
you know,
the
those
internet,
trains-
and I think we should nationalize
Trains
the
are way
internet.
better for the environment than cars, Foxy. That's totally.
Yeah.
Trains are but definitely better for the environment than cars. Cars are horrible for the environment. Cars are way worse.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree that cars are really bad for the environment because the amount
they're
of
dog
emissions and the
shit.
amount of cars that are on the road. I
True.
do. I 100% agree with that. But however, I do still think that we need to find alternatives, like maybe a better energy source to power the trains. Like, you know, like if we look in Japan, there's like trains.
We're
that
all
are,
for
like,
moving to clean energy,
Correct.
for sure.
Yes. No.
100%.
We.
Yes,
You are.
no
You are
argument there.
not wrong on that for sure. That is absolutely the
that's
case.
what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying like abolish trains. I'm just saying like
No, we need
should
more
find a
trains.
better
You know what's kind of funny is that like United States was built off of trains. Now we fucking hate them because of the car infrastructure. Like if anyone wants to do like conspiracy theories, like do it on the car infrastructure. Like it's so bullshit. Like let's be real. The idea of having to go into a parking lot and having to walk like an insane amount because you're just in a parking lot is soul sucking to the level of like vampiric levels. Like I hate that we don't have trains.
Yeah, I actually agree on that. Actually, I feel like we should get more trains.
I like Dylan's point. Centralized state public transport between states and locally among high traffic cities will reduce emissions.
Yes!
Otherwise end of space.
That's my
I completely agree
dream.
with that.
Ooh, I keep thinking like every time I think of this, we're talking about communism right now. I don't know why Russia keeps popping in my head. We're talking about if
It's because
communism is in
Russia
our
was the
country.
biggest
Russia
communist
does have
revolution
some good ass trains. They
aside
almost
from China.
bankrupt their
Yeah, I know.
dumbass building their train rail. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I always think of Russia. Whenever I think of communism, I always think of Russia. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's probably
'cause
because of
the-
USSR. Yeah.
There's a lot of
it's 'cause the
propaganda
USSR and the
relating
Red
to
Terror
it.
and
Yeah.
the Leninism, and there's good reason to have that
Okay,
association.
Here's the thing. I wanted to actually. Wait, we're on number 5, right? Number 5.
No, we're
right?
on number. We're about to do number 7. We got.
Yeah, I think
we
we're
got
on-
4
yeah,
left.
we're on
so-
Okay, so
We just
yes,
did
I
6.
agree with that. I agree with number 6. So yes.
Okay. I still think that centralization of communication under the state is super dangerous, because I think that in the same way that we've seen that Elon Musk is capricious and has used censorship to like
But
silence
he's not the state.
hordes is silly. So you have to think about in this, the state is run by good people and bad people.
Exactly.
There are shitty sociopathic communists.
Okay, but the
who would
other
also
option
get
is
control over this.
privatization, like somebody like Elon Musk. So I think it's
So through
better to have it.
privatization- So through privatization,
other
we
thing-
have
the other
things like
issue is,
Twitch
like,
and Kick and Rumble and YouTube, which means that no single source can be shut down all at once.
Okay, but I think that we're more talking not necessarily about websites, we're talking about internet connection. I think that
No, we're talking
Elon
about all of
Musk.
it.
No, we are talking about internet connection in this particular context, and I think that Elon Musk being able, do you know what he did with Starlink? He stopped a Ukrainian counteroffensive because he decided to shut down Starlink, and he was feeding shit to the Russians. He chose
Yes,
to do
as
that
Mark said,
as
I
an
know.
individual.
Yes.
So you
What's
think that
defending
the
Elon Musk,
state? You
right?
think the state would do that? If the state had power of Starlink, do you think the state would have done that?
I think it's good to have it provided by both sources. I
Here's the
think
thing.
it's good to
You
have
know
a
why?
state source of communication and a private source of communication.
Stop.
Glitter, listen, you know why capitalist doesn't affect the average citizen is because capitalism affects other countries. Like capitalism, like what
Capitalism
Elon Musk
affects
is
the average
basically doing
citizen.
is
That is a false statement.
okay.
That capitalism absolutely affects everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, it does affect everyone badly. It does affect especially poor people, but mainly because rich people are greedy as fuck. That's why most billionaires are like Republican. If you look at like not Bill Cosby, Bill what's his name? The Apple
I
guy.
don't
No,
believe that
Mike.
under socialism,
Tim
people will
Apple.
stop being greedy.
Yeah. What's Steve Jobs? No, not Steve Jobs. Why did I forget
Tim
his
Apple.
name?
Tim Apple, exactly.
Tim
Just,
Apple. No.
It doesn't really matter who it is. Just give the general consensus. I'm sure we'll be able to fill in the gaps with whatever you are just gonna describe.
Wears glasses.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with this. What's your point here?
What's his name? Never mind. Anyways, what I was saying is
It's
like
all good.
most of them are like Republican. Like even like
Sure.
even like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all of them are like Republicans. All of them are capitalists, and they decide
Yeah,
to
they
use
don't
their
go
money.
away under
Wasn't gonna be-
socialism. They just operate in socialism.
Here's the
So they
thing,
would
but if
use-
they have that money, you know what they can do? They can affect other countries, and they can affect even though it's maybe what they're doing. What they're doing is actually affecting our country too, because they're like causing
I
inflation.
don't know. I don't
and
get your
stuff.
point here. This is all true, but this isn't what we're talking about.
Sure. Yeah. What's your
I guess what my point is that like I feel like the capitalism is gonna cause people to become billionaires, and I feel like it's
True.
basically a free market kind of. It's kind of like basically like everyone can be as rich as they want, and I feel like that's unfair
that's
because like
a
what about then the
misunderstanding.
poorer class of people become poorer? That's the whole point. Is the poorer become poorer and the richer become richer.
That's not the whole point. That's a
No,
reduction.
No.
That's not what
Gotcha. Okay, so let's move to the topic or section. How are they numbered? Just numbered.
So 7.
7.
Extension of factories as instruments of production owned by the state, the bringing into cultivation of wastelands, and the improvement of soil generally in accordance with a common plan. So in the capital, Marx says that uncultivated land has no value. So it seems here that he is calling for the cultivation of all available land. I would characterize this as anti-environmentalist.
That does seem like that, but I think also very product of the time. Sorry, go ahead.
Right, but it also means it's wrong. Like, just because it's a product of the time doesn't mean it's smart. It just means that it was short-sighted because of the limitations of the time.
Is it an advocation for it?
Yeah.
It's an advocation for. Well, that's kind of like a fundamental misunderstanding, probably, of the
ideas. That's my
climate
point.
change.
Like, yeah, these are not all bangers.
Yeah.
The door.
It's
He's hitting against the door, Nina.
Yeah, he just does that. He's annoying.
Okay. Do you want to 8, or do we want to talk about that one more? It seems like nobody's really on board
That
with
didn't
that
really
one.
seem like that was that applicable in this like modern climate. So yeah, let's just move on to it.
Equal liability of all work, establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture.
Say that slower. Equal
Liability.
Armies?
Yeah, right? Isn't that fucking weird choice of words? Equal liability of all work, establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. So he's primarily envisioning that everybody does work and that most people work as farmers.
Okay, now that's a bit. I kind of disagree that with everyone working on a farm. Here's the thing. What if people want to pursue different professions?
Exactly.
Though?
This is my point.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of on the last one where it's like very a product of its time, where it's like
A bunch of these are. This is
That
why I don't
shit-
think Mark should be
Which is
treated
why
like a
I
fucking
find
saint.
again so yes,
He's got some good ideas and
exactly.
some bad
That's
ideas.
why it's so funny that fucking like Tankies like think of him like he's like
That's my whole
Jesus
point.
Christ. No, I mean I think
Some of these
I
are
never
good.
disagree with you on that. That's very funny.
Some of these aren't that good.
All right, let's get 9. that
Like the
one is
industrial
like
armies, if he just means unions, fine, but like just say unions,
No,
you know?
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Communism is basically an extreme. It's extremist, but it's kind of like socialism is similar to communism. The only difference is socialism is an authoritarian. Communism,
That's a
however, is
huge
authoritarian.
difference.
True.
No,
Yeah, that's
no, there
the
isn't. No, there isn't a
no,
difference.
no,
because
no,
they're
no, no,
similar.
Foxy.
If
The difference
similarities,
between
no,
the difference between being an authoritarian regime and not being an authoritarian regime is not something we should gloss
well,
over.
you know I
They have
fucking hate
similar
Tankies.
communal principles. One is abusive.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Is one
Okay,
is
okay.
abusive.
I think we're
That's what
in
I'm trying to
agreement
say.
on all
I'm
of
sorry.
this.
I apologize. Yeah.
All right, we're getting the home
This
stretch.
is exactly We're
Let's-
exactly sorry. We're all tired and it's late, so apologies.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, no, this is exactly my take
This
too.
has
Is
been
that like
fun,
one of these is
though.
the bad version of the other, and the other's pretty good. Yeah, okay. I think it is fun too. Okay, so 9, we're almost done. Combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries, gradual abolition of the distinction between town and country by a more equitable distribution of the populace over the country. That is literally endless suburbanism. I hate that. I'll just poison the
Hold on,
well and
one
say
more
I
time.
fucking hate that.
One more time.
Okay. Combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries,
Mm-hmm.
gradual abolition of all the distinction between town and country by a more equitable distribution of the populace over the country.
Okay, so let me summarize that. So basically, the agriculture industry and the industrial industry work together in the state or in the country. Basically, they work together hand in hand, like.
And the public is forcibly redistributed into suburbs.
Okay, so the public has to live in suburbs. Basically, they can't live in the city. Or they
I
can't live
think
in
this is
apartments. They have to
just
live
like
in-
a poor understanding of like.
This is a bad idea. Cities are way more environmentally friendly than suburbs.
All of the last
Suburbs
few
forced.
seem to be kind of in the same vein of why they're a bad idea because the guy didn't
They're just not good
understand.
ideas. They're just out of date.
Yeah.
They're
I
just fucking
agree.
out of date. They're just not very good.
Yeah, cities are pretty pog.
Okay. Okay, and then the last one is, and this is funny because I think it's so close to a hit, but I think it's kind of a. I think this one turns bad. Free education for all children in public schools. Base, I love that.
Hey,
Abolition
let's
of the
go.
children's factory labor
I'm sorry,
in its present form.
What?
Right, this is all one. Free education for all children in public schools.
Okay.
Abolition of children's factory labor in
Yes.
its present form. Combination of education with industrial production.
What does that mean?
Exactly. It means we put the kids in the factories in the right way.
Oh, that's not. Yeah, okay,
It's not good.
Not good.
Okay.
It's just not good.
Those are the 10 major points of the Communist Manifesto.
I mean, the first
I
5
think
were
we
pretty
all
pog.
agree. I think that like 3 of them are pretty good. I think that like 2 or 3 of them are like debatable. I
The
think
4
all
or
5
5
of them are
first ones
pretty
were
dog
pretty
shit.
pog. The rest of them were the product of their time. They were the grandpa go home.
Yeah. Yeah. So which is why I think that Marx has some good ideas and why we probably shouldn't worship him. That's
no, I mean,
my-
I don't think that anyone should ever worship like.
I think we should come up with the concepts that Marx did that were good and like put them into a system where it will work.
All day I've been thinking this needs an update, Foxy. I've been thinking that
Yeah,
there's some
we
good
need
stuff
we
here.
need a fucking patch.
We need a patch. We hardcore need a patch
Exactly.
for this to be anything. I think so. Another thing that's in here, I can't find the exact. Like I could dig around for it. I'm getting winded, so I don't want to push this past where I'm valuable. There is a part in here where he seems like he's pretty explicitly like railing against socialism and arguing as for communism as the revolutionary alternative.
Yeah, to be
Which to me
fair-
illustrates that even in his time, people understood that these were both similar and
Well,
separate
there was
things.
also a rise of like Hitler socialism, like
Yeah.
at that time period. So it's
Well,
complicated.
at that time period, Marx would have died in 1883 or
Marx is,
right?
yeah, pretty well before Hitler, but
Prior
there's a
to
co-option of the.
No, but like the idea of the rise of like that type of socialism.
I think the Nazis are probably an example of a different authoritarian socialist
Neo-communism, you
party.
mean? Like neo-communism?
Well, the
Sure, that too.
Nazism has whatever you want to consider it being. Like, it's not like it's a new thing. It's just hyper.
Yeah.
That would be my contention
authoritarian.
also, is that it's an exaggerated version of existing
Yeah.
principles.
I was gonna mention there is one thing that I think is good. So I was gonna get into Leninism. So there are a lot of pros to Leninism, I think, because here's the thing: Leninism is there's basically there's low unemployment rates, there's lower prices for goods. There's free universal education, which everyone wants. The one of the cons is that there's labor camps. In my stance on labor camps is I'm strongly
Pretty
against
big con, but okay. Okay.
collectivization. State atheism, which I think that's good. Political represent. I feel like Marxist.
I think if you have
Leninists
labor camps, you probably do not have an actual like real form of representation, because I don't think any actual form of representation would be supportive of labor camps.
Here's the thing. I feel like the whole reason why there is communism is because some people just don't want to work or don't want to buy things, and that causes because if there's
some
no one
people
there to
can't
work.
work.
That's the thing, though, and that's the part that I kind of disagree with communism big, because it forces people to work. But I
think
also
Marx
think
provides very little space for people to have personal value outside of their labor for capital. Even though it's his main critique, I also think it's a thing that he does pretty badly.
I think he just seems really, really aggressive. He's like an aggro person who just doesn't want to have people, live their own lives.
Can I give an example of something that I think is a practical socialist policy that I think that people could advocate for that would be like just generally good?
Healthcare?
Yeah.
This is sure. I mean, healthcare's one, but I just think that especially like we demonstrated during the pandemic, that people are fully capable
And
of
Glitter,
working from
do you
home.
not consider yourself like socialist adjacent at least?
Yeah, I think I'm socialist. I think I am socialist. I'm just not communist.
Right. Oh yeah, no, I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I'm socialist basically. I don't think capitalism should be eliminated. I think that competition in societies drives innovation and prevents corrupt bureaucrats from
I disagree with that, but that's
basically driving agencies
level.
to the ground. And that's a separate thing. Yeah. But a really great example of something I think would be a really good socialist policy.
They're
is,
coming for you. You're too socialist.
Yeah, that's them.
All right, Foxy
refusing to return
and both Glitter. I'm trying to wind down here a little bit here, so I just want to. I really enjoyed talking to you both. I really hope that we can have another conversation soon. But if you want to have a little bit of anything to bring up today, go ahead.
Oh, should I finish the thing, or I was gonna say? I think that we're.
I'm not rushing you. I'm just saying, I'm just kind of trying to wind down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to wind down too. This is gonna be my
it's getting a little bit late.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that work from home is like an incredible socialist innovation that we've proved possible due to technology. It takes, so if we're gonna talk about the means of production, for the most of us, that's like computers and office space. And if the office space can be at home, then we have control over that too. So if we want to move the means of production into the individual, refusing return to work orders and collectively bargaining for remote work seems like a really great way to that seems like an active socialist achievable principle that we've demonstrated works, dramatically cuts down on pollution, dramatically increases the amount of time we have to dedicate to ourselves because it cuts out of our what do you call it, our commute time.
Commute time.
I think that's just a great socialist policy. And so that's the type of thing I think we should push for if we're gonna be.
Actually, I actually agree with Glitter, and I know we're gonna head off soon, but I just want to add a caveat to that I feel like with the rise of AI, I feel like a lot of AI is gonna I feel like it's gonna take a lot of the labor camps, especially the manufacturing industry. I feel like it's gonna take over that for sure. With robots, we're probably not gonna have humans making machinery. It's all gonna be AI doing it. So I feel like a lot of that is not even gonna be humans doing it. So I feel like it's gonna let AI take over jobs, especially essential jobs, and let people just do the basics.
I think that's an excellent point, and also part of why Marx probably needs to be kind of reworked, because we just have a new source
of labor.
'Cause I feel like in modern society, I feel like Marxism can work. I feel like in the 20th century, it didn't work because we didn't have the materials, or like I feel like the industrial like manufacturing industry was in its prime, so I feel like it was kind of just starting off as well.
Right, the
Also, he just doesn't have a complete plan.
decommodification
Like
of
we just looked at his
labor.
plan. He doesn't have a
Yeah.
complete plan. He's got a decent plan, but like, there's no reason to go forward with something that's from 1849.
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
Sure.
we gotta, yeah. Pog.
We will
I love you
rise
all.
up. We will all rise up. All three of us will become the arbiters of the new Marxists.
God.
All right, I gotta head to bed. Thank you so much for hanging out.
So it goes.
This was actually a lot of fun.
Oh. Yeah.
Go ahead, Foxy. I'm sorry if you had to.
I actually enjoyed chatting with you guys. It was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed getting on the panel. So yeah, I didn't mean to ask that, by the way. I was just really curious. I'll just like DM you about that, Glitter. Anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a
And
lot
I'll
of
look
fun.
into Lena's. This is a blast.
Yeah.
Did you just call me Lena
All
because
right.
I'm like taking
Bye,
an L,
everybody.
Glitter? Did you just try and say that?
No.
All right, no, we'll talk. We'll talk. It's fine. All right. We're gonna go ahead and end stream 2. We're gonna go ahead and send y'all over to our. I have no idea why she is choosing to do this aesthetic the way she is, but we're gonna go ahead and because somebody suggested it, we're gonna have. I don't know how to actually do it. I think that's where. Oh, it looks like it is working. So she'll have to acknowledge me. Tell her I want to be best friends. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow.